love, yeah. You found me no search. It's like you knew that inside I was hurting. I was so young, said no chance, but you gave me a shot at a romance. I feel like you were like an angel sent to bring me life. Now that I'm with you, me one say that me love you, that me love you, that me love. Hey, me no go one day wonder without my baby, without me love, without me love. And no dance and sing and nothing, because you make my life complete. Oh yeah, oh yeah, I can't believe that this is for me. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, I can't believe that this is for me. Oh yeah, chada, 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 chada. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, it's for me. Chada, 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 chada. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, it's for me. I've never felt this way. So when they ask us, say, oh yeah, we're going all the way. Tell me we happy, love you all the time and things. Sometimes I wonder if the thing could cut us under, to get under, I know. But your love in my life controller. I lay down my life this way. Do anything to make you stay. And all of the blessings, they come my way. And all the bad things, they turn and away. Sometimes life is such a scare. Your love gives me the strength to bear. Oh, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, it's for me. Greetings. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. It's for me. And what's for me is for fucking me. And what's for you is for you. So let's get into it. So first, I did a world reading the other day when I talked about the vending machines in grocery stores or whatever. Carbon Martian sent me a video. I guess it's now.
And I was trying to open this door and I could not open it. You see how they're numbered? I was getting something for a video, a natty light I need. So I have to go over to this machine. Have you guys ever seen this before? Look, and you put your ID face down in it, and then it takes a picture. It like scans your face. And then you type in the door that you want to open, and then it unlocks the door for you. I have never seen this before. I've been here at this gas station and I was trying to open this door.
I've never seen it before either. And I don't know how long the shit's been out, but I know that Yehuda was talking about it. So let me calm my energy down because it's affecting my service. So I have always been one to say whatever is for you is for you. Genuinely, whatever you believe, you believe. I don't give a fuck if it's Ra, Allah, whatever. That's a beautiful thing. Great. But it is the soul and the spirit for me over here. I'm not twisting your arm. So God is key. I read your text. I read your comment. And you said you're not going to praise no deities because you believe in Ra. Beautiful. And let me tell you something. I never asked you to praise anything. I say pay homage to them. See, people get confused when you don't know where you are. If you honor and you praise and you honor Ra, great, that's for you. But let me tell you something. I made the executive decision. I did not consort with Yehuda or Mother Adina. I just made the executive decision to go ahead and block you from my channel. Let me tell you why. Now, whether people think that you can't have a difference of opinion over here or not, you definitely the fuck can. I have even opened up my platform and said, let's have a Bible study with various religions and spiritual beliefs to come up. Nobody came up for real. Like we had a couple people, but not many. Let me tell you why I made the executive decision to block Goddess Key. Because I understand. If you believe that, that's great. I'm not going to block you because you believe that. But let me explain to you. If I come to your mother's house and I don't really fuck with your mom, I like your stepmom better. I expect for you to say, "Oh, I don't know what you doing here." Well, I like sitting over here listening to y'all talk. I don't really fuck with your mama like that. I like your stepmom better. I'm gonna need for you to go to my stepmama house. This is not the house that Jack built. This is not the house that Jesus built. This is the house that Adina and Yehuda built. The soul and the spirit, the connection and the frequency. This is their house. And if you tell me that you don't fuck with them, that's a wonderful thing. And I'm not mad at you about it, bitch. We can go and have lunch. You just can't come to this platform and get fed. You can't come to my mama house and you don't fuck with my mama and because you like what she cooked. But you spend all of your days and nights talking to and honoring my stepmom. I need you to go over there and like what they cook. I ain't mad about it. Shit, we can go and kick it at lunch and all of this shit. What we can't ever do is have dinner at my mama's house. When we go out to lunch, what I can't ever do is spend my mama's money on your food. What we can't ever do is have a conversation about our parents. We could talk about anything other than that. Because I stand 10 toes down for Adina and Yehuda. I understand that you may believe in Allah. That is a wonderful thing. I am not mad at you about it. You can come here, long as you don't put that shit in my chat. Because then you have now spoken on the disrespect that you feel, and I ain't mad about it. Just don't come to my mama's house. Okay? That's all I'm saying. I ain't mad that you have a difference of opinion. A low down, dirty bitch felt like, oh, I was mad that somebody had a difference of opinion about Goomba. I don't give a fuck about Goomba or your opinion of him. See, let me tell you something. People don't understand what fake is. They expect for me to be fake as they are used to being fake. I think people have gotten so desensitized to bullshit and to fake shit. Like a motherfucker thought I would come up on a platform as they sit and talk about me. Not never. Like people have gotten used to disrespecting a melanite woman. You got used to disrespect of the melanite species. You have gotten used to disrespecting, period. You've gotten used to fake shit. You've gotten used to lying, stealing, and being dishonored and dishonoring those. You want me to be fake. What you're saying to me is, I know how you feel about Adina and Yehuda, but I don't really believe in that shit. Like Yehuda told me tonight, the little bitch, as soon as I got off the live, the little bitch started texting my phone with a long passage. Bitch, I didn't even read it. You know why I didn't read it? Because Yehuda had to make it make sense in my mind. Whether you are Kimberly or Tracy or Tootie or Brandy or whoever the fuck you are, bitch, I don't care. Let me tell you what I'm going to do for you. I will never even read another text message that you send. If you call my phone, I'm going to immediately hang up on you and block you. Because, like my good friend said, I nothing you. I keep feeding you my energy because I really want you to die. I want you to drop dead in front of your whole family. That is my prayer, that you go outside and get in a car accident. I pray that for you. Because that means your life means nothing. That you have nothing better to do than bring chaos. That, see, you're a devil. You're a demon. And you think I'm going to keep allowing you to exercise your demonology in my energy space, and I'm not. I nothing you. I now send you to the nothing. See, that registered to me so differently when Yehuda said it. He said, you are really disgusted. I said, I am. I want her to die in a car accident. Papa Candelo flipped that bitch's car. He said, do you mean it? I said, I absolutely mean it from the depths of my soul. He said, then nothing her. Send her to the nothing. I send you to the nothing. Because that's what you are. You are nothing, and nevermore will I ever discuss you on my platform. This will be the last time I ever address you, period. Because you are nothing. You come to my platform and you watch intensely. And you pay reverence. And you hit the like button when you come here. So I now send you to the nothing because you are nothing. I wouldn't give a fuck how many phone calls you make. I may even answer it as soon as I hear your disgusting voice, you fucking demon. I'm going to disconnect the call. And I won't pour any energy into nothing that you are. And then I'm going to block you. And you'll spend every day chasing your hatred for something you don't even know, and good for you, until your accident happened. Because I nothing you. Every text message you send will not even be opened. Because, see, I can see it. As soon as I see what the message is, bitch, I'm going to delete it and block you. You will spend every day chasing your own hatred, because good for you. I wouldn't give a fuck how you or anybody else feel about me, Adina, or Yehuda. The deities, the Loa, the Orisha, the ancestors, or the Gede. What I am not going to even tolerate any more of is the disrespect. If spirit gives you that, amazing. Amazing. But I don't know why you would ever be using Yehuda's name for anything. If you want to stand in front of me, you probably should say Spirit told you, because Spirit is Yehuda. But I prefer for you to say Spirit, because what you're never going to do is wreck Yehuda's reputation, or the light that we are building for the deities, or the light that we have created in our building for the Grand and High Council. You don't have fucking permission. How about that? You standing in somebody's session of reading saying Yehuda said, may your tongue drop out your fucking mouth. Because Yehuda has said this and that, and I have had people on my motherfucking phone trying to figure out, don't come to me, why Yehuda is saying to give people money, to tell people to move in places, to tell people to say this and do that and honor this and do that. You got me fucked up. And you got Yehuda fucked up. You should say Spirit then. But what you can't ever do is work for Quatita. Let me be clear on that. You can't even work for me. You can't appear on none of my platforms, none of my shows, because that is a disrespect. I am not going to play any games or tolerate. I don't give a fuck what you believe in. I don't give a fuck how you feel about me. I don't give a fuck how you feel about nothing. I am not going to show nobody grace like that. Nah, I'm not going to do it. I love you to life. I ask that you grow and find your own way. I'm not even asking that you believe what I believe, that you know what I know. I'm not asking that you praise or honor the deities. What I said was, if the spirit of the deities or Mother Adina have told you to collect money under their name, I'm going to need you to make sure you spread in the knowledge and the news of who the fuck they are. I don't give a fuck how many Christian Bible studies you go to, bitch. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if you honor Krishna or Ra. I don't give a shit. You know why? Because I honor Krishna. See, honoring and being true to, I don't have to praise nothing. You talking to me about praise, that means you are fucking stuck inside of a Christian mentality, and I don't give a fuck. I know where I'm at. There's a reason why I came on the StreamYard so I could touch all of the platforms. See, me and Malika had a great conversation today. That's why I keep saying you don't even know where you are. The understanding that you sometimes gain by speaking to people or understanding or taking a simple class or just being knowledgeable. But see, greed, disrespect, and being desensitized. Motherfuckers want to stand in my shoes because what? You want to stand in my shoes because what? Motherfucking bitch told me, bitch, if you die, life still goes on. Bitch, you already did, and my life still has not changed. I nothing you. You don't add a fiber or take one away from this life at all. At all. I despise your very breath. You ain't got to love, honor, pay homage to, praise, none of that shit. You know why? Because you ain't even got to come over here on this channel. When I go to other people's channels and platforms, I respect whatever they got going on over there. They can Jesus it up all the fuck they want. I don't give a shit. They ain't got nothing to do with me. And I'ma still kiki at their jokes. I might say to myself, girl, shut the fuck up with that. Malika said, why does that bother you? Because I love and honor and fucking respect you. What you believe in is what you believe in. Genuinely. I'm not going to come to no public platform and tell you what you should believe. But again, when I watch the work that is working via the spirit, not my work, I'm talking about the work of the soul and the spirit and how they have changed lives. And I watch my people still be under fucking Christian mentality of sleep that's causing oppression. See, that's my issue with it. Because as long as many people are still calling on that oppressive energy lives and it lurks. I don't hate you. I nothing you. We can sit and have dinner. But the first time you make me feel like I'm supposed to believe in your Jesus, we have a problem. That's our problem. People always bringing what they think, what they know to a platform, to someone else. I'm never going to come to your platform and talk about eating pussy, bitch, because I don't give a fuck about that in that moment. If we are having a key discussion, whatever the fuck I discuss over here on the walk with the ancestors, bitch, that's what I discuss. I'm never going to go to nobody else's platform and disrespect their platform. People think they can come and tell me. That's a beautiful thing. God is key. Heard you. I just can't reverence with you. I don't want that energy upon me. We're talking about real life fucking oppressive energy. And as long as people are calling on it, I'm going to pray for you. Don't ever pray for me. Who you praying to? People think it's just words. People just think that the shit just, what? What do you think this is? It's spiritual war going on. Yes, the fuck it is. Do you know what that means? Do you know where you are? Do you know what that means? You still believe that the spiritual war is happening in the sky? Because that's where you believe heaven is? Why would I allow you to bring that energy of confusion here? See, they tell you the shit that I teach is confusion because it's clarity. I don't have to have a praise dance team. I ain't got to send around 17 motherfucking collection plates. Because when I open up this very book they call the Bible, and I get to it and I get busy, or if I just come and bring to you what the Spirit has given to me, the knowledge and the understanding that registers to your soul, I ain't got to convince you. I ain't got to know your fucking name. Because see, I don't go to people's pages. I don't. I don't go to their page and I don't say, this is something that you should know. I stay right here on all of these platforms that are mine. See, a bitch kept saying, bitch, those platforms ain't yours. They belong to YouTube. Bitch, I wouldn't give a fuck if they belong to the metaverse. Do your house that you rent belong to you, bitch? And I bet a motherfucker still can't come in your motherfucking house, bitch, because you pay rent there. That's where the fuck you live and reside, ho. Take your demonic, dumb, dead in the motherfucking head ass on, bitch. I ain't nothing, you bitch. You couldn't make sense if you spelled it out in every which way. Bitch, if that was SENSE, SCENT, SENT, bitch, I wouldn't give a fuck how you spell sense. You couldn't make it. You are jealous in your heart and in your soul, and I don't give a fuck. I promise you, bitch. I promise you I don't. Because whenever you ready for what you really talking about, you'll give me your name and your address. Until then, bitch, I nothing the fuck out of you. I nothing you, bitch. I nothing you, bitch. I nothing you. I nothing you to death. Till death do us part. As the fucking Grand Reaper Santa Muerte, Shantea Soposi, stands at the foot of your bed and carries you the fuck out of it. till she stands behind your car when you take out, bitch, and make sure that motherfucker explodes, flips over, hits a pole, dives into a ditch. Bitch, I don't give a fuck. I mean what I'm saying to you. And every bitch that thinks like you, that may look like you, that spreads the fucking knowledge of this knowledge that just like you, cause see, you love Jesus, bitch, and I ain't mad about it. I just want you to know it's fuck you and I nothing you though. I don't give a fuck if a bitch praises Ra or Allah or Buddha. The deities are a many. You're coming here to say that, but that lets me know how lost and confused you are because, see, these are all avatar versions of higher energy that is supreme. All that other fuckery shit that tells me you're still trapped inside of the mindset of a Christian, and I don't care, of a Catholic, of a Baptist, a Protestant, Methodist, Episcopal. I don't give a fuck. I do not. I wouldn't give a fuck if you went into Seven Tabernacles, a motherfucking uh mosque. I don't give a fuck. I don't give not one fuck. I promise you I don't. All I'm saying is anything that is outside of yourself that does not resemble and brings fruit and life into the very essence of who the fuck you are, where you came from, because you standing somewhere talking about some Ra, the eye of Ra, Ra, the God, sun God. Okay, great. Which sun? Which sun? The sun God? God, deity. God, goat, deity. So what are you talking about? You're saying to me, see, Ra is revered as a God. The word God is deity, but you just said in my chat that you don't praise none because you praise and worship Ra. That tells me you still are fucking confused on even what the fuck you thought you knew. I understand. Earth. And the etymology of Old English, Europe, ground, soil, dirt, dry land, country, district, also used along with Menenanged for the material world, the abode of man. So your earth could be your house, because see, abode means that. Material, something. Let's look at the etymology of material, shall we? Component, substance, matter from a which a thing is made, real, ordinary, earthly, drawn from the material world, materially, within, by, or with reference to matter or material things. So now, when we are looking at the word earth and we're looking at the word material, I said something to you the other day. I said heavens and earth is what I said to you. And I said we are looking at the functionality of people. Genesis chapter 2, verse 4. Adam and Eve. This is the account of the heavens and the earth when they were created, when the Lord God made the earth and the heavens. Why does heavens have an S on it? We all went to school. We already know when you put an S on something, that makes it plural. Now, when you're looking at the word Lord, we already spoke about that, but just in case somebody's the fuck confused. Etymology of Lord. Lavered, lovered. Master of a household, ruler, feudal. Lord, superior, husband. Husband. Because we're not talking about the definition, we're talking about the etymology. Etymology means where it came from, where it stemmed out of. Also, God. All right. To exercise lordship, rule as a lord from Lord. To play the Lord, the domineer. Right, let's look at this one. God, also God, Old English God, supreme being, deity. The Christian God. See. Heard you. Again, etymology. The Christian God. You see how that was separated? See, they separated that. See? The Old English God, supreme being, deity. Then it says the Christian God, image of a God, godlike person, from Proto-Germanic Gutan, Old High German Gott, German Gott, Guo, Gothic Gop, which is a uncertain origin, perhaps from pi, gut, that which is invoked. Invoked, to call upon, to summon in, to bring forth. Okay. Invoke, that which is invoked. Zavo, to call, Sanskrit huta, invoked, from root, to call, invoke. Here we go. The notion could be divine entity summoned to a sacrifice. No, that's etymology. No, that's etymology. The notion, see, God, God, this is etymology. God, to call, invoke, the notion could be divine entity summoned to a sacrifice. You want me to sacrifice something? Who says not at all? I want you to live your best life. See, people always want to say what Yehuda said in hopes to see that's clout chasing. See that? People want to be able to say what Yehuda said so they can get clout. Because what else did Yehuda tell you? Because if he's telling you something, I want you to tell Yehuda what else? Like, where is your prophecy? Or are you dealing with the God? Because you don't like the word deity. Okay. The Lord. Hmm. Mm, mm. Okay. Let's continue, shall we? Heavens. Heavens from the Bible. That's the word that is used in your Bible, the book. It says heavens. We're not talking about that. We already been through the God and the dog. We already talked about that. We're talking about the etymology of where the shit has come from now. We already talked about the God and the dog. We talked about that in Bible study. We talking about etymology. See, it's a difference though when you're talking about etymology. Because see, people get fucking confused. Before we go into the heavens, let me just do this for you. I'm glad you brought that, but we talked about that in Bible study. I ain't mad at you for bringing it, the dog and the God, but we talked about that. If in case people are confused, they probably should go back and look at the Bible study, the last one we did. You know what I'm saying, babe? But in case somebody else was confused, ooh, etymology of Ra, hawk-headed sovereign sun god of Egyptian mythology. That's a key word. Let's go to the definition of that. I ain't gonna click out of none of this shit. I'm gonna just keep it there, but we're gonna go on and talk about what is the definition of mythology. A collection of myths, especially one belonging to a particular religious or cultural tradition. The study of myths, myths, mythology. Now, let's just see what's that word. Everyone is so creative. Myth, myth, which is the root word of mythology, a traditional story. Especially one concerning the early history of a people or explaining some natural or social phenomenon, and typical involving supernatural beings or events. See, the very first thing you should have heard me say was story. Don't worry about it though. Let's see. Let's talk about it. Let's see. Let's go on to the etymology of myth then. And then we'll look up the definition of story too. See, that's why bitches be so in their feelings, child. Myth, 1830, from French myth, and directly from modern Latin mythos, from Greek mythos, speech, thought, word, discourse, conversation, story, saga, tale, myth, anything delivered by word of mouth, a word of unknown origin. Wow, that's interesting. Hmm? No, discourse. It said discourse. Yeah. Well, wait a minute. I'll read it again, but it said a lot of key words in here. Speech, a thought. Bitch, we could think a lot of shit. My mama used to say, stop thoughting and start thinking. Take a bath and stop stinking. That's what my mama used to say. But word, discourse, conversation, story. This one right here got me. Saga. Oop. Saga. Tale. Myth. Anything delivered by word of mouth, a word of unknown origin. Beeks finds it quite possibly pre-Greek. So a word of unknown origin. So you don't even know where the fuck it came from. A bitch said it and carried the shit like telephone. And it is switched over so many motherfucking times. But about time it got to us. Okay. Let's look up discourse real quick. Just real quick. I ain't gonna hold you long. Discourse, written or spoken communication or debate. Why would somebody put debatable information that's spoken by word of mouth as something that you are supposed to pay reverence to and praise and worship, that's supposed to change your fucking life, that you are chasing behind? What? Let's, because she said, let's look at it all. Let's look at it all. Speak or write or authoritatively about a topic. So when you look at authoritative, in a way that is trusted as being accurate or true with authority. How would ever a discourse, a myth, be authoritative in a way that is trusted as being accurate or true with authority? That's a whole bunch of confusion and a whole bunch of shit that did not the fuck go together. Am I mistaken on that? Hmm. Well, heavens, shall we? Heavens with an S, as they have it in your Bibles. Oh my God. Oh my God. The heavens and the earths. The heavens. Ready? By etymology. Heavens. Realm, place, but we'll look up the definition of realm if you want to. Realm of the heavenly bodies. Hmm. Heavens, realm of the heavenly bodies. Let's look up the word realm just so we're all enlightened to maybe Quatita's the fuck confused. Okay. Na, 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 na. Realm, a kingdom, a field or domain of activity or interest. Hmm. A kingdom, a field or domain of heavenly interest. Let's go here real quick. Kingdom by etymology. Kingdom by etymology. Old English, seeing them. Now I got to look that up. Let me write that out because I don't want to forget that. In case you want to look it up, let me give you the spelling. Cyningdom. We will look that up in momentarily. Okay. Um, Cunningdom. Coningdom. Conogmar. I don't even know. See, they have a whole bunch of shit that's not really telling you where the etymology comes from. They're giving you the real words, but you're going to have to look them words up too. One of the realms of nature. One of the realms of nature. Huh. Kingdom come. The next world, the hereafter. Kingdom come. The next world, the hereafter. Hmm. This is quite interesting. King. And we talk about this word quite often. Um, Singing. I don't know how to pronounce that shit. Which is the same word I just gave you. Okay. Um, and they have a whole bunch of the cunning knives, cunning girl, Konig. This is of uncertain origin. Why would the word king be of an uncertain origin? But according to the spirit and according to Joseph, it means to be a pedophile or to lay with children. Just as when you look up the origin of the word queen, it means to be a low life woman, a prostitute. Why is that the word all black women call each other? No, you don't believe me? Someone please take a moment of your spare time and look up the word queen. You will see it Queen, queen. But why would king not have an origin? Because that's what we call our black men and our black women. Mm. But when we're looking at the monarchs, they do reference themselves as kings and queens, but they are actually that low life fucking women and pedophiles. Hmm. Come on, Deanna. As she's looking that up, let me read on. Okay. Old English, sin, family, race, see, kin, Kin, making a king originally a leader of the people, or perhaps it is, or perhaps it is from a related prehistoric Germanic word meaning noble birth. They don't know, but perhaps it means noble birth. That's what perhaps the fuck means. Making a king, etymology, one who descends from noble birth or the descendant of a divine race. Perhaps, perhaps a descendant of a divine race. The sociological and ideological, okay, implications rendered this a topic of much debate. The exact notional relation of king with kin is undetermined, but the etymological relation is hardly to be doubted. Meaning they don't know what the fuck the word means or where it came from. But they know that it has some sort of substantial because it has kin, which is kin, meaning to be related. Mm, mm. Chief of a tribe, ruler, prince, king was used. Slavonic prince, Lithuanian, kunigas, clergyman are forms of the word taken from Germanic, meaning one who has superiority in a certain field of class. Clergyman. Let's look up clergyman. Let's look it up. Huh. Here we go. Now, let me go back. Wait, bitch. No, no, no. The fuck? Hold on, bitch. Don't worry about it. King, right? I just told you what the spirit say it mean, right? Okay. Don't worry about it. Now, Lithuanians, kunigas, which is also where they're saying that that's their form of the word king, is kunigas. That's Kunigas. Clergymen are forms of this word taken from Germanic meanings, right? But let's look up what clergyman means. A male priest, a minister, a religious leader, especially a Christian one. The spirit say it means pedophile, one who lays with children. I don't know, but a lot of them that I just fucking named have cases of pedophilia. I don't know. All right, let's keep going, shall we? Now, if we take the S off of heavens, let's see what that etymology say. Heaven, home of God. Earlier, the visible sky firmament, probably from Proto Germanic. A lot of shit is from the Germans. Mm. Perhaps. Why don't you keep paying attention how many times they say perhaps? They really the fuck don't know. Perhaps literally a covering from a pi root kim. Where is all of the hoteps at? Because see, the hoteps love to break down the word kim, K-E-M. Come on. Where's the people who love Egyptian shit? You know, Kemet. They love to tell you what Kim means, K-E-M. What does it mean? Happy birthday. Perhaps it literally a covering from the pi root Kim to cover, which also has been proposed as the source of chemise. But I thought Kim meant like black people and dog. No, that's what they say, Kemet, the home of the black people. That's right, Miss Yvonne. The land of the black. Yes, that's interesting. What are we looking up? Heaven. Heaven. Okay. Stone, sharp stone, then the stony vault of heaven. A heavenly place, a state of bliss. The sky. Now, is Malika, are you in the chat? Are you in the chat, Malika? My point, and we have a couple more words we're going to look up because we're going to look up man, woman, material, water. And let's, okay, Malika, let me have you do this really quickly. Can I please drop the chat? Can I drop the link for you really quickly? You come up real quick, please. Make sure y'all tune in tomorrow for let's have the conversation tomorrow night. For everyone that was supposed to have been in the meeting today for Melamart, that was my fault. I had put the wrong time on there. The time you were given in your original text message was correct, but the time for the Melamart Zoom link was incorrect, and that was my fault. Greetings, Malika.
Greetings.
How are ya?
I'm good. Wait, is there feedback? Do I have this right? This is different than Wednesdays.
No, that's not a feedback. There's not an echo.
Okay.
So we had a conversation earlier today.
Yes.
And because you're taking a crystal class that I really want to take, and I've been holding on to the note all day.
You're going to take it with me.
Absolutely.
Together.
Can you just first break down that part of the crystals that we talked about that even led to this?
Okay, so what that was, and let me get my notebook so I'm making sure that I'm giving the correct terms. But it was the class today that I took, and this is only the first class of the entire course. It was speaking on piezoelectricity. That's the part that you're talking about, right?
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely. I'm sorry because I'm distracted by Miss Annette. Miss Annette, I show gratitude. Go ahead, Malika.
Okay, I can't see the chat.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. It, the class was speaking on piezoelectricity, and what that is the ability for crystals. Stop, spirit, stop it. For crystals to create a force where you can actually see the light strike from the crystals when you strike them together, and that's typically done with quartz. Hold on, let me get to okay unit cells. All right. So when you strike these two crystals against each other, they create an energy, and those are typically shown through sparks of light. So you have piezoelectricity and triboluminescence when it comes to crystals, right? And the
Yes.
example that they gave was breaking it down with the quartz family. And quartz is not, for most, you think of the clear quartz crystal. The quartz family is extensive. I even came to the realization that amethyst is a form of quartz with traces of iron in it. So even amethyst is in the quartz family. So the way that they broke this down, that she broke this down in the class, is that with focusing on piezoelectricity, and also let me say there are examples of the Air Force through their training videos speaking on the electricity that comes from crystals as well. Okay, so you have the
Which also, Malika, could explain why Egyptians had electricity.
absolutely, because I was telling Quatiter that before the class today, I watched a video previously. I didn't know the terminology for it though, but it was one of like those end of days videos. This is what you do to survive in the wild. And they said if you're a crystal lover, hopefully you've collected quartz because you can help create a fire using the two quartz together. And so you would strike the quartz and it would create, you see it create the smoke, and then it builds to a fire. So with that being said, the breakdown for this now, where I was like, whoa, I got to call Quatiter, is when she compared it to the human body. Now, we are electromagnetic beings. So, what she was explaining is that the piezoelectricity and triboluminescence are what are those things are the proof that crystals create energy healing for us. And the reason that she said that and how she connected it is if we are electromagnetic beings, the energy that we emit is through our thoughts and our manifesting power, right? So when you're having thoughts and you're setting your intentions, then you are releasing these things in the same way that the crystal does through the energy. Now, where she connected it is if you now own these crystals, if you have these crystals within your possession because you act in a crystal energy yourself, as governess teaches, we are the melanite crystal. So if you are that, and now you have this crystal that does the same thing that comes from the core of the earth, right? Then it is holding on to what you're emitting. Not only that, it's enhancing it, receiving it, storing it, and transmitting it, which means that your ability to heal, to see your intentions come into fruition, to manifest quickly through the use of crystals makes so much sense. Even deeper than that, because I remember this part too, governess, is how they utilize it. She said, if you want proof of that, see how they utilize it in your everyday. So, what happens is with the quartz is utilized. We know it's in the phones, the TVs, it makes things work, right? So, it's also in the watches. And what happens is that it's the same kind of action. They send an electric current through the quartz crystal. Depending on the size, they change the amount of electric current that has to go through there, and it begins to oscillate. And what the oscillation is it's creating a wave of frequency. Everything we've learned about, right, y'all? Okay. So it's creating this wave of frequency. And as it oscillates, it starts to create a pattern, a rhythm. And that is the tick, tick, tick of your clock or your watch that you have on your wrist. So you can't say that these things don't create energy, and they're literally telling time. They're keeping time. So that was the breakdown that she gave today in the class that had me in awe.
Okay, so then you and I started discussing this, and when you said that, I said,
Mm-hmm.
well, you're like, what? And I say, because the earth, because all of these crystals are emitted from the earth, they're
Mm-hmm.
in the earth's surface.
Mm-hmm.
And we all say that to put your feet in the ground,
Yes.
because that's how you, what, Malika?
That's how you ground when they say if you take off your shoes. And Quatiter, I came to another revelation in the kitchen with Ro because I was telling him, I was like, you got to hear this conversation that Quatiter and I had. So what you were saying just now, if you are putting your feet on the ground, they tell you that grounding is good for you. They tell you take off your shoes and step onto the earth. But what came to us today is if the earth's crust is made up of these crystals, you have minerals, you have stones. What they say, minerals are always crystals, but crystals aren't always minerals.
Yes.
But you have all of these amazing gems, these crystals, these everything's, that elements that are sending out this energy, this frequency from the core.
So this is
That is
it.
what you are receiving when you take off your shoes. So now look at this, Quatita. I said, Ro, when you say like if a power line falls, you have to wear rubber boots, right? To not get the like not be electrocuted by the electrical current if there's water on the floor or something, or a hurricane or a flood. And he was like, yeah, you got to wear rubber boots. That's the way that you avoid getting shocked. And I said, so that's why they put us in shoes with rubber soles.
Yes. Right.
Right.
Okay. So
Okay.
now here it goes, right?
Hmm.
Because in my teachings, regardless of what these numbskulls keep wanting to say and text my phone and say, in Quatita's teachings,
Hmm.
Quatita has taught that El Lentis,
Hmm.
that is known as Atlantis, is actually El Lentis, that was in the cosmos, was in the frame of the cosmos, which is the home of the crystal people, in which we come from there. And then I also said inside of the teaching, it was in the cosmos first, and then it was in the ethers. Now, we are also the ethers, and we already know that it's divinely inside of ourselves, because if you could see yourself outside of this body, you would understand that you are energy with crystal, your crystal energy in the blood. So then I said, and then it was brought to the physical plane and was hidden. So, how about if there is nothing but crystals inside of the earth's plane? How do we know that we're not standing on top of El Lentis? What is on the inside of the earth's core? How do we not know that that is not where El Lentis is? Because how do you receive energy from the crystal core? Why is there so many crystals in the plane of this? And then when we was talking about King Kong, and
Hmm.
he threw something up, and we saw that this was boxed in, this was embodied, this is the matrix.
Hmm.
There is, the sky isn't real, according to this movie. Okay, buried cities. So how do we know that they did not encamp El Lentis? What is on the inside of Earth's core? Why don't we know? Why don't they tell you it's so hot? It's so hot that it burns. You
Hmm.
can't get in there. But the sun is hot. But it's supposed to be burning at the same kind of, but we're right under it. None of the shit that they have ever told us makes sense.
Like, I just wonder who has dug that deep.
That part. Because now we went even deeper, because
Hmm.
I said when we're looking at the movie Wakanda,
Hmm.
now their sisterhood were the people under the water. We already know, first of all, water is energy. Let's
Hmm.
go to church, Malika. Water is energy. Now they tell you that you can't go down so far because your head will bust open, your ears will all do all this other shit. However, there is a long pole cord stemming from the base of Area 51 that goes way out in what they consider the middle of the ocean, and it drops so far down that a human physical body cannot go there. That means there is something under there. Now, when you're watching Wakanda Part 2, you will see they kind of honor the jewels and the crystals in that way. And they tell you that they also have vibranium. So then you're looking at Wakanda, which is really the sister city, but it's an invisible city, but they never told you where Wakanda is. Perhaps Wakanda is on the inside of the earth's plane. Now, there was a lady that was on this interview, and she said Haiti has this mineral that is unlike any mineral before, that would be the real version of vibranium. So if all of these minerals hold these powers, now Malika, you was talking about the King Kong from a different standpoint, but a same standpoint. But
Hmm.
go ahead and say what you said too, Malika.
The part in the movie that always stood out to me is when he wanted to go back home. They had him on the water first in the cage, on top of the water, and then he wanted to go back home, and he went into the core. Shay Chaz, he went into the core, and it was so beautiful there, and that was his place. And I think about the fact that they put these things in movies, and it stood out to me so much. Like we see these little stories that come out and get removed that say they found a new a new habitable location within the core, or within areas that we never thought there would be places for people to be. Even Kwati, do you remember when I was telling you the other day about where we were driving, and my brother and I, and there was that location off the water, and I looked it up, and they're actually out there doing like archaeological work, because they're finding tools and things that they say the slaves were using, because escaped slaves or runaway slaves or the brave slaves, whatever you want to phrase it as, they actually ran off with the other Native Americans. And I say other to make sure that you know I mean other, the other Native Americans, and they stayed within these lands that were considered inhabitable. So people did not think, the slave owners did not believe that anyone would live in there. And even those who tried to find them could not make it through that brush. So if we were even finding spaces like that, then who's to say that those spaces are not available with that's why I said, who's the person that dug that deep? Who's the one that's telling us, oh no, you cannot? Like, it's absolutely impossible. And where were they searching? Did they search everywhere? Because it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense that they want us to believe based off of their experience. I don't believe unless I know it, and I have to experience it to know it. So, what you said to me today, the way that it made me feel when you spoke about that and the core of the earth and Atlantis, all of it just makes so much sense. And I don't want you to forget what you brought up about the chakras either, and how we ended up coming to the, or going through the thought that if these stones, if you know crystals and you work with crystals, the stones are made up in different colors. So for instance, I was speaking on amethyst earlier. Amethyst is a quartz crystal, but what happens is when amethyst is forming, when the rock is forming, the amethyst is within, there are traces of iron that get, absolutely, there are traces of iron that get that mix with the quartz, and it creates a purple color. So this chakra energy is being created through these minerals, stones, gems, crystals, cryptocrystalline, all of these things, they're being formed, and it's within the same colors that every like serious crystal distributor will explain to you. If you know the chakras, you'll know what you need to know about crystal healing. Just know the chakras. The earth is doing this on its own. It's so much power in it. It amazes me. It
Because the earth
amazes me.
has chakras. It
Absolutely.
aligns with the body. So when I say to you, earth in the heavens,
Mm-hmm.
and the heavens are heavenly bodies,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? We're not looking because they're feeding us whatever they want to feed us, Malika.
Right.
So they tell you they don't know where this come from. Why would there be so? Why does the earth have chakras?
That part.
Why is there so many different crystals inside? There are so many different, what we would consider mountains or mounds that are actually in the shape of people,
Mm-hmm.
like the earth has swallowed up on them or buried. Now, reason why I was shaking my head about the canyons, because that's what I was sitting there thinking, like the Grand Canyon and different caves that go down. Like we don't know the volcanoes. Like they're doing things. They're looking. They're trying to get to Atlantis.
Mm-hmm. It's just like with the oceans. You would think by the way that they teach us about the oceans, they make it seem like they know everything. Like it's not. If you come up with an idea, they're like, that's impossible. It could never be. However, it's documented that a large percent of the ocean it's unexplored. It's never been touched. They can't get there. So how can you then tell me, look me in my face and say to me, no, this type of a being could never survive? Or that, how do you know if you haven't explored the entire ocean?
Absolutely. We also spoke about the confusion of if the earth is flat or round. But either way, there is something up under it.
Mm-hmm.
What resides up under it? Now, I'm holding my mouth just now, Malika, because as you're talking, some other shit is registering as you're saying what you're saying. Because when we're looking at this, okay, I know that William Cooper wrote a book called Behold a Pale Horse. In that book, he speaks about seeing spaceships going and coming in and out of the ocean. The ocean opens up, one comes down, comes out. Now, do you know how big a fucking spaceship is?
Mm-hmm.
Where are we? Because if that's the case, and this is why I'm holding my mouth, because we keep saying, where are the deities at?
Mm-hmm.
We know we're crystal beings.
Mm-hmm.
Are we being held inside of the physical plane of this earth as the deity bodies, the real bodies, the crystal beings with the magic? What is making shit generate? How are we generating? Like, how are they keeping us here? Do you understand what I'm saying? They have a
Mm-hmm.
thing called being mummified, and they believe that they put crystals on Egyptian mummies. They put them on them, and they believe that some things tie their energy and their spirits and their souls to certain shit, which is why they would mummify them.
Mm-hmm.
Papa said he was mummified and wrapped 100 and something times. Where is the fucking bodies?
Mm-hmm.
You say the Atlanteans have a water base, and that's what I'm saying to you is they tell you Atlanteans. I believe it's not Atlanteans. I believe it's Atlantis. And I say that EL because we are them and they are us. We're the deities, the gods. We are them. So that is the home of the gods, but they have to change all of this shit so it doesn't make sense to you. So you don't know where you come from. And that's another thing. That's where I was going with the fucking Wakanda, the people under the water, because water is a power source of energy. And when you put it together with the crystals, because that's another way that you charge your crystals is by water.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God.
The elements and everything you're saying is in direct correlation to what you teach in regards to us being a direct reflection of Mother Nature, of all, of Mother Adina. Um, and it's so beautiful to me and awe-inspiring because that means everything that is perfection is you.
Yes.
Because Mother Nature, no matter if you see an imperfect leaf, you would never know it was imperfect because you may not have paid attention to it that long. When you see the leaf, you're like, oh, that's a leaf. You don't question if it's imperfect or perfect. So if we're the direct reflection and we look at ourselves in the way that we look at Mother Nature, and we see that we're set up with chakras, the earth, the core, what we're on is set up with the chakras, all of these things, if we correlate to that, then we should be in awe of ourselves as much as we are Mother Nature. And we should realize our power as much as we realize the power of Mother Nature, even through cleansing. When the hurricanes hit here in Florida, um, I told Quatita the next day it was the birds sang in a different way that they never sang in, at least for a while, that I
Yes.
can remember. So if you look at all of those things and regard yourself as a part of that, like there's so much to this conversation. And what you were saying about the water, I'm on my phone, so I can't do my research. I should grab my iPad. But there was one country, and the government officials had actually stated that there was some form of something that came up out of the water. And they were investigating, or whoever was investigating and researching, whatever this thing was that came out of the water, was able to shoot a ray to the location, the building where the research was being done, and there were fires lit across that country on the seaside from whatever this thing was that came up out of the water. It's definitely possible. You think about the Bermuda Triangle, you think about all of these things. Like there, and whenever they try to instill the most fear is when I know, oh, that's just because you don't want us to look there.
Absolutely. Like they've gotten super quiet. Nobody but me maybe has noticed why the fuck the Georgia Guidestones were blown up, bro. And
Hmm.
then all of a sudden they gave you it for like 3, 4 days on the news, and then it was just well in other news.
No investigation, no continued investigation for a historic landmark. Like we just gonna let that go.
Like totally just look over here, please. Hey, over here. Yeah. So like man,
Hmm.
everything that we're talking about is starting to register on such a different level. That's why I wanted to look up these other words by etymology, because I want us to understand what in the hell like is happening.
Hmm.
And if we are the crystal people, then yes, absolutely, Antoinette, we got to drink the water. Your body cannot even function without it because it's being charged daily. And
Hmm.
because you are the crystal, what the fuck, bitch? Okay, look, follow
Hmm.
real
Hmm.
quick. The crystals is in the fucking ground. What grows on top of them? Vegetation.
Hmm.
It's being fed because the
Oh,
earth is a living being.
okay, so this is what I was going to tell you next, right? But I didn't want to cut off what you were saying before. Oh, 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 okay.
And you
But
need vegetation and water only.
absolutely. Okay. But look at this connection to that too. Y'all getting a witness of FaceTime with Quatita and I right now. Look at how this connects. Do you remember the conversations that we had about the trees being connected to our ancestors and how the trees have soaked up the pain, the energy, the all of these things
How
from our
they talk,
ancestors?
they call out to us.
Right. So when I was finding out the differences between the resins, the not resins, the mineraloids, organic mineraloids, gemstones, crystals, mineralic rock. The organic mineraloid is something that you picked up when you came here. Look, okay, and I'm gonna show you how this connects to what you were just saying. You're gonna connect it on your own. Do you remember the bag that you had picked up and the Geno man had walked past and he was like, "Oh, when you wash those off, those are pretty amazing."
Yeah.
Okay, and you remember I was like, well, if you grabbed it, I want it too because that feels powerful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we washed it off, and it's beautiful. And what that is called is amber, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely beautiful. And Ro was like, "Why does it look like old meat or something? Something that's just been stored underground in a different way." So when I was in the class today, she happens to go over amber. Amber is literally fossilized resin from the trees. So the material that the trees pour out, that is fossilized, and these are like age old. I can't say crystals, but they are let me see, organic mineraloids, right? That are used for crystals because of the energy they hold from what they experienced while they were here.
Everything has memory. Like Rose
Everything.
says, water. Absolutely, water has memory.
Everything. So that's why what you picked up, that amber, it's so powerful because it comes from the trees. It absorbed all of that for so long that it fossilized, and the resin, the amber, is what you just so happened to pick up when we went there.
Cause
Hmm.
I'm thinking everything has memory. What is the one thing that has the best memory? A fucking elephant. So you telling me that they too are crystal beings in some capacity because we are them. They're the cuckoos. We are them. But I feel like some of them are GMOs. Why are they mixing GMOs in there with the real cuckoos? I don't want to go too deep. This is busting my head
Go deep, go deep.
because they have beautiful memories and they communicate,
Hmm.
and so does gorillas.
Hmm. Absolutely.
I believe that, and I believe in my thinking, I believe that elephants and I wasn't saying giraffes, but if you say giraffe, dude, I'm gonna say
That's me. Sorry.
it. Giraffes, but I was gonna say elephants and rhinos and hippopotamuses, they're all from the same family.
Mm.
But when we were looking at the one like creature Kakusa from back in the day when we found out about Leviathan,
Mm-hmm.
Levianitis, um, it was both of those things, and one looks like a horse, kind of giraffe type thing, and the
Mm-hmm.
other one looks like a rhino. Dinosaurs, right? They're a form of them, right? It right. Why are there only so many fucking fossils?
That we know that we've been made privy of.
Yeah,
Right. Because remember, and Sarji, you know I love you, so I'm going to go ahead
I
and bring
love
you up. So, Sarji, remember how they kept her bones in their college?
yeah,
So the same way that they could have kept that to themselves, but they decided to talk too much, and they were able to well, her bones were sent back to her homeland, but in that same manner, how many of them are kept behind these museum walls?
in the
Like they
Vatican,
keep
I believe.
listen. So I know if we, you know, they be digging until they find their information and they have certain setups to be able to act and move immediately. If they know there's some fossils or different crystals, like you say, even with crystal beings that they're looking for through the DNA, they're in consistent search, constant search. You see the things that are happening with certain babies that are being pulled away from their parents for no reasons, and you can only think it hits you in a different way when you start to think they're looking for something within certain children
Yes,
to remove them from their families. So in the same way, I think the same thing is happening with these fossils and with these crystals and with even when you were just saying with the dinosaurs and the elephants, I think of the mammoths, just like how gators are connected to the dinosaurs, like these older living beings. I,
I get it. No, I get it because I'm always saying that. Like that's another reason why I'm glad we're bringing it up because, and I have the Bible still sitting here because they tell you in the beginning it was this and it was that, but then they want you to believe when they teach you in school that the dinosaurs were the first and only things roaming here, but they don't say that in this fucking Bible that y'all teaching out of. And then
mhm,
you tell them that it was the Cretaceous period and they was fucking destroyed. All of them, everyone was destroyed, Malika.
mhm,
And it was how many different ones?
mhm,
Like, do y'all actually know the number? I'm about to give it to you because I looked it up. Do you actually know the number of dinosaurs that actually supposedly existed? Let me give
mm-mm.
you the number.
You speaking on that also reminds me of the theories that I've read about when it came to the caveman eras, and when the Earth was going to go through this entire process. Some escaped on land, and some were said to escape in the water. And they escaped in the water, and they were able to adapt to their environment living in the water. And they say that is even where the lineage of certain mermaids have come from. And the dolphins' connections to people is because that is who we connected to when we got in the water and started finding our way.
The deities, Malika.
Mm-hmm.
The deities.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
Okay.
this, mm-hmm.
Okay. No, go ahead. Say that.
No, I was going to say the scientists that tried to speak on that and speak on that theory, a lot of them were silenced.
Mm, absolutely. And killed and
Mm-hmm.
disalived and unalived. Okay. Estimates vary, but in terms of extinct non-avian dinosaurs, about 300 valid genera, meaning like,
Mm-hmm.
and roughly 700 valid species have been discovered. Now, that is just the species and the genera. Um, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing that word right. I don't care. Um, in 1995, studies predicted that about 3,400 dinosaurs genera Let me look that word up so we're all, because I understand, but I don't. So I need to.
Mm-hmm.
Ever existed, including many that would not have been preserved in the fossil record. In 2016, the estimated number of dinosaur species that existed in the Mesozoic was 1500, between 1543 and 2468. That is how many different species. Now, if we're talking about just different, let me give you the word. Let me definition. Basically means I guess different generations of different ones, different generations of different species.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, let me, yep. A principal taxonomic category that ranks above species and below family and is denoted by a capitalized Latin name, Leo.
Bring it right back around.
Get the fuck,
Run that line back
get the
again,
fuck
Quasita.
out of
Run,
this shit.
run that back again.
Okay, it says genus, Genus, but the plural of that is genera, Genera, which is what we're looking at. A principal taxonomic, don't know what that word means, but okay, category that ranks above species and below family and is denoted by a capitalized Latin name, Leo.
Wow.
A class of things that have common characteristics and that can be divided into subordinate kinds. So again, like families,
It's like a
like
family tree.
yes, a
How it branches
generation,
off and branches off and
yes,
branches off. Mm-hmm.
yes, and then the different species of that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about millions here.
Mm. So again, where are the fossils?
Where are the fossils? And how were they all? Now let's look at how they was killed, Malika. How were, because I know how, but we just gonna, around 66 million years ago, at the end of the Cretaceous period, an asteroid struck the Earth, triggering a mass extinction that killed off the dinosaurs. I can't take this shit seriously, bro.
Who built it back?
And the dinosaurs and some 75% of all species. Did you hear what I said? Wait a minute. They didn't told you that there were no other species roaming but
Mm-hmm.
dinosaurs. Ain't that what we were taught?
Mm-hmm.
Around 66 million years ago, at the end of the Cretaceous period, don't know where that's at in the Bible, an asteroid struck the Earth. First of all, if it struck the Earth and killed that many, why was the Earth still standing? Never mind. Triggering because Nibiru was destroyed, right? Okay. Triggering a shut your fucking face. Wait, what? Okay. Did that register to anybody else when I said that? That Nibiru was destroyed? How do we know we didn't come from that planet? How do we? I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot. Don't get distracted, Petita. An asteroid struck the Earth, triggering a mass extinction that killed off the dinosaurs and some 75% of all species. What other species would there be?
Mm.
Somehow mammals survived, thrived, and became dominant across the planet.
So many questions. So where is this site exactly?
When you say the site, what you mean?
Can we travel there and go see it? Because if it was powerful enough, this asteroid, to
Shouldn't it?
Who rebuilt it? Like, if everything. Is there another creation story?
Because exactly. Because how the fuck did the Grand Canyon come to be, and why is there so many of them? Like, and again, if an asteroid hit, it would have. You can't destroy, even if say they were standing where the Grand Canyon used to be, and an asteroid hit, bloom, and like we're talking about millions that roam the Earth's plane.
Right. So they would have to be saying that all of them lived in that one area. And then if it was all mammals, I'm so okay.
And was
Where
the Earth still spinning on its axis, and it was hot and sunny? Like, what are we talking about? Because where's like, wait the fucking minute, wait, Malika,
Yep.
wait a minute now, because the Earth. Listen, we came back to the Earth spinning on its axis, Malika. Now, if all of these animals, they said they was everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm. Roam the Earth's plane. Yeah. They were. I'm still trying to figure out where the human comes in
Yeah.
and who rebuilt it.
And how did the mammals survive?
Did the mammals come out the water and rebuild it and then
The
make a human?
the mammals survived, but they didn't told you that dinosaurs' exterior was damn near impenetrable. How they didn't survive?
Sense ain't sensing. The sense is not sensing. This makes no sense at all.
Because my thought is this: if the Earth is tilted and it is tilted on its axis and it is rotating around, and that's how the seasons come to be. But at what point did this happen? And if the asteroid hit, that means it hit right here.
Mm-hmm.
So all of the dinosaurs was just right here in this one spot.
That's what I'm saying. They only lived in one.
Yeah.
So maybe the humans were on the other side, on the other spot, but they were so in awe of the. Wait, who told us?
But
Who
what's
who survived to tell us this?
a myth of
Listen,
discord?
I really want to take all of this even more seriously, but all I can think about is how many Pringles you actually have in that can, and if you're just saving pieces. I'm just, oh, I'm so proud of you. Where's Toddy? Okay, but when you get down to one, what happens? You just gonna hold on to the pieces?
And
Okay, I love you for it. All right, but sorry. Okay, so it hit the one spot. That's where we're at, right? And that's the only place where the dinosaurs roamed. They didn't want to see what was outside of it. It was too ratchet. They just wanted to stay right there. So do you think there was like a human on the other side? And then they came by and they were like, oh shit, an asteroid must have hit this. I'ma tell my family to tell my family to tell.
exactly.
Mhm.
That's what I keep saying. So they say they discovered all of this by the fossils that they found, and they knew exactly how big. Because how the fuck, if an asteroid hit it and destroyed all these motherfuckers, that means bones and pieces was disintegrated, splattered everywhere, went different places over the Earth's plane. I'm assuming because it was supposedly Pangea at this point. Um, and that happened. So they have put together these fossils in which they have delicately found inside of the Earth's plane, somewhere by the chakras, but never mind the giants of the Anunnaki that were found, which
Right.
is some of our original bodies, just so you
Hmm.
fucking know. But some of them is probably on the Earth's plane. Where did they come from? We don't even know how big the Earth is. We're being lied to. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock.
I can't.
Honey got hot. I can't make it make sense. None of this makes sense, bro.
At all. At all. And
Mm,
it's, you know what is, I when you say, it touches me every time you say that we are them, we are the deities, because even when you talk about the Anunnaki and saying that some of our original bodies, I'll never forget Nye at like 3 or 4 wanted to use makeup, and I said, "You want to use it on you?" And she was like, "No, this isn't for me." And I don't remember how the conversation went, but she had said, I had pretty much said to her, "You're a child." And she said, "I'm not a child." And I said, "You're a child, I'm an adult." She said, "No, I'm not a child and you're not an adult." And then she whispered, "We are the giants." And I will never forget that moment. The way
girl.
she looked at me with that smirk on her face, like, oh, okay, it's us. It's
Now,
us.
I saw that Jeremy Jones has said we are the descendants of the Anunnaki, but this is what I believe, Jeremy, and I hear you on that because the Anunnaki come from Nibiru. Nibiru was supposedly destroyed. Now, we spoke about that too, like so,
Mhm.
two planets was like and supposed to collide, and because Nibiru only supposedly had came around so many times, and so it was supposedly destroyed. We don't know where them pieces went to, but see, they tell us shit. Excuse me, they tell us shit that don't make sense. So, okay, so we came from the giants, which are the Anunnaki, but we have never lived another day outside of the looping process.
Mhm.
We just keep coming in different bodies. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? So we are them possibly,
Mhm.
honestly. Now, this is a question that I asked everybody. And I'm gonna ask you, Malik, because you on here and you can talk to me back. And I don't mind if anybody else wants to come talk back, but the stars in the sky. Tell me two things that you learned growing up about the stars in the sky.
Nothing. I didn't pay attention. I wanted to go home. That's why I ended up being homeschooled. Like, who are you and why are you trying to teach me these things? I don't trust you. Oh, singing class? Yes, I'll be there. Nothing. No, if I get Row up, he'll tell you. But I promise you, I it's like my mind, when I started doing homeschool, my mind was wiped of everything that they taught me when it comes to the science, when it comes to the universe, space. But I appreciate that my mind is set up that way, even when it comes to geography, because honestly, I feel like my mind just does not want to accept it. My being doesn't want to accept it. I can tell you the things that you've taught me. I can tell you the things that I experienced that connected with me and lead me to be in protection of my peace and myself now. But as far as everything else, never received it enough to hold on to it like the way that I called you today. And I'm even able to give you back the information I learned today, which is not like simple information, but it makes so much sense. It's simplistic. I hold on to those things. But my honest answer to that, Quatita, is go ahead and let another cousin come up because I
Listen,
didn't retain
because you
any
just
of
gave
it.
us a whole speech to say that you still you still gonna say let the other person come up because what I'm saying to you is
I didn't retain any of it. It shines bright. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. That's the most that I know.
that part. Okay, Jeremy, see you. I hear you, hear you. So what I remember being taught
Hmm.
was that the stars are so big because they look small from where we are, but if you were to go up to them, they would be huge, and that they are huge balls of gas burning.
Hmm.
And if they ever fell to the sky, one could possibly wipe out the world. Anybody else ever
The
was heard that? I
star could. I whoa. The so the if the star fell, it could wipe out the earth. That's what they.
that's what they used to say. That's what they taught. So I want to know what was everyone else taught about the stars in the sky. B Dot says, "Yep, you're right." Janae says, "Yes, I heard that. I remember that.
Let me get my iPad.
That's what I was taught." Okay, just as long as I wasn't the only dumb motherfucker that was taught that. What are falling stars? Exactly. Come through now. Come through. You
Right.
with me? You with me? Now they didn't told us that Buzz Aldrin, went into the cosmos and that they have people that walked on the moon, right? How did they get past the stars?
Oops.
Where was the stars at? Where are the stars when they show you in space? You only see, when they show you space, you only see the moon, the planets, and you see floating debris. Where are the stars at?
If they're supposed to be these huge things they can take out, what?
That's right. That's what my question has always been. You say the sun star is a vortex black hole portal. Okay. I mainly remember just my mother telling me about the Big and Little Dipper.
Right.
Stars are, wait a minute, that went fast as shit, are outside of the planets. Where is that at?
But look, yeah, some shooting stars are bigger than the Earth. Bigger
So
than the
where
Earth.
are they?
Why?
They
Why?
still, you still not seeing them. Where are they?
Right.
Come on, make it make sense. There are a lot of color pinpoints. I saw that when I was on shrooms, when I looked up two different times. The one time I was on shrooms, I looked up, it was a diagram in the sky. There were diagrams everywhere. The second time, listen, I have not shaved, don't judge me. The second the second time, the stars were flashing with colors. They were different colors. Where are the stars? I just want somebody to make it make sense. If you can make it make sense to me, that's fine.
That makes no sense at all.
All that was a lie. They in the firmament. Where's the firmament? Let's look up that word because we talked about that today, Malika. Firmament.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look. Let's go to the etymology of it. Okay, so first, firmament is the heavens or the sky, especially when regarded as a tangible thing. Okay, so now let's do the etymology because that was the definition. Okay, let's see. Etymology directly from Latin firmamentum, firmament, literally a support, a strengthening.
Let me turn on my camera so you could look and see what I look like when you
Please.
said what you said. I'm not gonna do it though, but I
Come
want to
on,
do
get
his
you
face.
all day. You look the same.
I want to do his face so bad.
Come
Am
on,
I
do
right
it.
or am I right?
Am I right?
Okay, I'm gonna turn on my camera so y'all can see how surprised I was. Right? I was really surprised when Quatita just said that. Let me show you how I look.
I had to turn my camera on.
Okay.
You just go, okay, am I right? Am I right? So you just gonna leave me. You just gonna go back to your picture.
Yep.
That's how they've been on.
No, you got to turn yours back on.
There we go.
No, you have to
I
turn
mean,
yours
oh,
back.
come on, Malika, because they've never seen you now.
I shouldn't even said nothing.
A support, a strengthening, firmest, strong, steadfast, enduring. From suffixed form of pi root deher, to hold firmly,
Mm,
to hold firmly and support. But they done told you it's the skies and the heavens. So what is holding firmly? What is it supporting?
that thing that King Kong threw a rock at.
That part. That part. Because I always thought the firmament was something that was hard. The
Mm,
vault of the sky, the vault of the sky, and the floor of the earth. That's what I thought. I thought it was the earth's floor.
mm.
Uh,
I'm reading now too.
you're reading too?
Yeah, I'm looking through this to see if I see
So
any.
now, while you do that, I'm going to see by definition of what a star is, the stars in the sky.
Okay.
What are the stars in the sky? Okay, it has sky, Orion, universe, binary star, giant star, solar system, main sequence, sun, Sirius, Capella, Regal. All right, let's look at it. Let's see. Nope, that's not what. What exactly are the stars in the sky? Stars are huge celestial bodies. I done told y'all they talk. They talk. Celestial bodies made mostly of hydrogen and helium that produce light and heat from the churning nuclear forges inside their cores. Then why do they say it's cold in the cosmos? Remember on the movies they tell you that it's cold and you can freeze to death?
Mm-hmm.
So if the sun is hot and that's burning up at an immense, and then you have the celestial bodies that are mostly made up of hydrogen. How do they know that? Hey, how do they know that?
Just
How
the
do they,
question. Just the
how do
question we keep asking.
oh fuck.
Because what had okay, let me break it down. Okay, this is what had happened, right? So the dinosaurs that was living in that one spot, they got hit by that one asteroid. They took out that one side, which we're gonna figure out who rebuilt it. But the dude that was on the other side where the dinosaurs didn't go, he came over and he was so shocked and in awe and surprised and appalled that he I have to break down that story. I know the word is appalled, just in case. Okay, but in a pause that he shot up into the air, right? And he shot up so high that he saw the star, and he was like, "Ooh, it's chilly," and he came back down and he wrote a book about it, and that's how we know. It makes sense. It makes sense.
So
Outside of that, it's bullshit.
I looked up celestial, positioned in or relating to the sky or outer space as observed in astronomy, belonging or relating to heaven, supremely good. Okay. Now, with all of that being said, okay, relating to or suggesting heaven or divinity, celestial beings, or of relating to the sky or visible heavens. Heavens. Again with an S. Heavens. Again. So they told us that's what stars are, right? They said that stars are huge celestial bodies made up of mostly hydrogen and helium. Now, when they show you this, it looks like this,
Mm-hmm. Wait.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, when they go up there, where the fuck is this at? Because they still say these are huge. How big? Let me look this up.
I'm still confused about the vast solid dome that is the firmament.
That part. Okay. Astronomers generally measure the size of stars in terms of the radius of our sun. For instance, Alpha Centauri A has a radius of 1.05 solar radii, the plural of radius. Stars range in size from neutron stars, which can only be 12 miles. Anybody know how big 12 mile is? Never mind. 20 kilometers wide to supergiants roughly 1,000 times the diameter of the sun. Hmm.
It makes no sense. And even as humans, you think when they tell the stories of being in space, that would be if these gargantuous structures of gas, they witnessed that, they would have came back and spoke on that. That would have been, I would assume. that there would be some. I was singing it earlier, Gigi. I don't know if you was here, but I sang it just for you, boo. I would assume because Miss Jean had said in the chat, because I got the iPad, that's the same makeup as the sun. But then if we see this, okay, so wait, stop. I, okay, so they're the same size as the sun, but we see the sun clear and big and bright.
Come
So
on. I
why am
asked this question before.
why am I not seeing the stars in the same way as I'm seeing the sun? The other stars.
This
If
is
they're the
why.
same makeup. Simplicity. Huh.
Let's see what Yvonne said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This makes no sense.
Biofield. All right, let's look that up, Jeremy. Because okay, so this is the picture. They actually okay. So let me just see. Okay, so let me just hold on. Let me do this so this don't go away. Hold on. Let me share your. Bitch,
What?
why did that pop up? Hold on. I had to delete that.
I'm okay, so as you're pulling that up, Slay Cuban said, "Do y'all know that the Earth isn't just spinning, but actually traveling through space at the time? The Earth travels 1.6 million miles a day. Where are we traveling to? Who is finding this information?
That's what I was saying. How are we not? How do we stand? This is what I was saying the last time. If we are on our axis and we are rotating and we are like we're just they tell you that oh it is the gravity pull that keeps you in alignment, but we're traveling in the what was it the moon is traveling to? The moon is traveling. We don't never run into this motherfucker. We'll never hit another planet. Everything is just in sync. But where are we? Like, it's just this, just this. Doesn't make sense. But I'm gonna show you this picture though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So now this is supposed to be the sun. This the sun down here. The little thing with the spikies. That's the sun.
Oh,
The other two are stars. Why the fuck we not seeing that?
wait a minute. Hold on. Okay. So what about the little ones? The ones in the background that ain't the size of nothing compared to it.
That part. They have no clue. They have no clue really. Like they have a clue, but they're not gonna tell us because that would open up too many Pandora boxes. They are huge. How the fuck we not seeing them? If they're traveling in space, how the fuck are they? There are millions of stars. We're talking about the Big Dipper, the Little Dipper, the this and the that. Like there are lots of stars, millions of stars on a clear night. You can see them all. Like you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And they're going into outer space, so they say. So they ain't ran into no star. They just got they're doing this.
They got the Tesla.
I'm just trying to make it make sense.
It's not. It's not. I know Charming says they use calculations, but who's to say that the calculations are accurate? Right. Who came up like I just
They sit around in these offices on these movies and they do the calculation. Sir, I just found the calculation. It is one by if we cross over the one by the two over the 17 diameters of this. Get the fuck out of here, bro. How would they even know that? How would they
and
even know?
would it even be them? Because as we found out from a movie, um,
Hidden Figures.
that part, I don't have to say no more. It's such bullshit across the board.
Across the board. She said, and I'd be like this. They have told us so many lies, bro. We don't even know who we are, but we do. We are home and don't. Yeah.
Greetings, Yehuda.
It's like this, the
Mm-hmm.
way I see it. There was this movie, and it's on, I think, Prime right now. It's either on Prime or Netflix, but I think Prime. And they got Brenda Song in it, the little Asian girl from Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
Mm-hmm.
And she was being chased in the very beginning. Bitch, this is our story. Listen to this. Ain't that a bitch? She was being chased by Genome, and she was hiding because she was scared. Like she was hiding. And so she ended up seeing a car. So she was trying to get in her car. Her car ended up, he had hooked her car to his car, which was like some sort of truck type shit. And she couldn't leave. So she jumped out the car. She starts running. When she seen another car, she had dove in the street type shit running. And she fell, hit her head, got hit by the car. She had amnesia. So then her husband came to the hospital and took her home. We said on Netflix, okay, took her home. But she wasn't registering that shit. She didn't recognize that shit, that was her fucking home.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because she had amnesia, and that was the motherfucker that had been chasing her the whole fucking time. Boom.
Spoiler alert. A good one. What the? Listen, you look at that on a larger scale, and that is so everything. That is us. And the game that they continue to play with the resets and the different shifts and all of these things where we're like, wait a minute, didn't that happen? Hold on. And then they blame it on all of these different diseases that they create themselves. They put things in the food that exacerbate conditions that are within us, like how they say we all have cancer within our system, and
Give
then
it
they
to
give us
me.
things that enhance it.
Give it to me.
All of these things to trigger the programming. If we go back to that class that you gave, trigger the programming so that we fall into it and forget who we are and allow ourselves to be linked and chained to the people that have been taking us out all this time.
Absolutely. I'm gonna drop the link because I want a couple more people to come up here. I just
Mm-hmm.
want to hear what other people got to say, and we're gonna have a whole conversation because we've been chatting, and I want to hear what other people. Don't you, Malika?
Me too, yes.
Let's see what everybody else, because you just said a fucking mouthful. What you just said registers so deeply and makes so much fucking sense. I'm telling you,
Mm-hmm.
they have lied to us. We have no idea. Come on up, somebody. Come on up. Let's come voice.
Wow, I've got to watch that.
This yeah. Wow.
I've got to watch that.
Greetings, Shaylin.
Hello. Greetings.
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 I have a question.
Hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Greetings, Malika. Greetings, governess.
Greetings, greetings.
Okay, I have a question. So when you talk about genomes, is that all white people?
I noticed you asked that the other day. Somebody answered you, but you must have didn't like the answer that they gave you.
No, they said to take your class, and I went on.
So genomes are white people, but not all genomes are genomes. Simply because some genomes have a mixed heritage, and melanites have had to hide inside of a genome um, family. And that's
O-
spora. Um,
Okay.
not all genomes are genomes. Not all melanites are melanites, and that's the trick.
Okay, got you. I was just curious about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've sat there and binge watched all of your videos the past week.
Gratitude, gratitude. Yeah, but not all genomes are genomes, and not all melanites are melanites. So
Uh, Well, I'm Puerto Rican and white, so I was just kind of curious about that.
okay, yeah.
Well, I will definitely be taking some of your classes, and I see your readings are all the way until you're booked until May.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna do a reading in May, and I'm
Okay.
gonna. Someone just told me how to get to do your classes,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
that's all I had to say, really.
Okay. Gratitude.
And
Gratitude.
gratitude, and you and Malika are beautiful. Your
Gratitude.
souls are beautiful.
Yeah.
Ashe. Receive that. Gratitude.
I
All right, I'm gonna
right.
go.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
gonna let someone come up. All right, bye.
Okay. Come on up, JJ97. Come up, Jeremy. Come on up. Red Roses.
Did you see the question Lilia, the goddess, asked?
Oh, what did she say?
She said, "May I ask, please, Malika Music, since you have, oh no, since you being a beautiful singer, amazing voice, may I say, have you been approached by anyone in the industry?" I have had experiences in the industry. However, to say it's such sly and slick ways that it's such sly sorry. It's such sly and slick ways that industry professionals approach you with certain things. So when you say that, there's so many different directions I could go in. Now, if you're referring to the quote unquote powers that be and the red shoes and all of those things, I've never been in any of those situations myself, but I've definitely been in spaces where they've spoken about it. And I have been warned by many that are in the category of legends to watch out for the approach and that it will come. But a lot of times, if they know you're not with the shits, you'll be blocked anyway. You won't get the invites to the major events. You won't get the invites to the popular kids table. And I'm doing the quotes again there for popular. You don't get those things, but you do. I've been in situations where because of my spiritual gifts, I've seen the faces beyond the faces that are shown directly to me, so much so that I've had to evacuate situations and places because when I walk in, I know this is not for me and this feels like a setup. So I hope that answers your question. I could go deep, but if I go deep, I'll be talking forever about it. So that'll have to be for another day.
Gratitude, Malika. Gratitude.
Gratitude. Goodness, gratitude. You know what? I want to stay on that too, though, Quats Eater.
What?
Please don't think that the industry is any different than the streets because the approach the everybody looks at it like the industry like, oh, they've got this whole illuminati and there's people within our households and there's people within families, within friends, within associates at your job that do the approach every day. And because you're looking at the celebratory industry, the idea of that, what they create in you to make you think that it's this exclusive community and such an expansive, the music industry is very small. The music industry is very small. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody hears the stories. If you know one person, they're probably connected to another person that connects to another person that connects right back to you.
Okay. Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Because we gonna carry the conversation over there. Okay. Um, so we was in deep, but we
No,
got.
I want to go back to the firmament.
But
I want to go
well,
back to.
this is well. I'm kind of sway it. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
because you have been in these circles. And me, hold on, Leah, I'm gonna bring you up. Um, me doing all of the research that I've done over years, talking to certain people, seeing certain things, videos, clippings. What have you ever heard about reptilians?
You know, I never heard them speak on that. I only learned about reptilians through my own research. I just know like the story of the one individual that I shared with you when they got on the elevator, and there was a beautiful feminine being on the elevator, and he went upstairs to the penthouse, and that she was going to the same floor, and she had said Tony. She was talking to him casually, but then she said his name, and then her eyes rolled, and they rolled. I believe he said to black, but they rolled, and she said, "We're just waiting on you." And then his celebrity cousin, that I'm not even going to say his name because it's a whole lot of. But his celebrity cousin, the elevator doors opened, and he grabbed him, and he was like, "Nah, not him," and pulled him out, and was and pretty much had dismissed her. But that was one of the approaches. So that's the closest thing as far as the eyes changing. But I wasn't aware enough to ask the questions to go in depth. So most of the times when they were having these conversations, I was just like, what the fuck? Are you serious? This is what's really happening over here? Like, this is what people are engaged in. But never did I ever hear them speak on a conversation about reptilians specifically.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of shit with my own eyes, though. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? I have actually seen it, been at a restaurant. We talked about it, seen some crazy, weird shit.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching the news and not like a clipping or somebody actually posted it. Like I was at work with my client and saw it to the point where I started recording it on my phone to play it back. His eyes were literally shifting, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And in real time, like reptilian type shit. And I know I do it too, but not like that, bitch. Like that's something else.
Mm-hmm.
Greetings, Leah.
Greetings. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hi, Malika. Great to see you as well.
Greetings. Greetings, love.
I was just coming up. I put it in the chat, but I wanted to say to you, Malika, I honestly didn't mean any harm at all by asking that question.
No, not at
Um,
all. Not at all. Wasn't
yes,
taking.
and I really thank you. Well, the answer you gave, I really appreciate it. You know, for even answering the question. Um, but yeah, that's really all I wanted to come up here and say.
Gratitude for asking the question. I feel like there's everything is for everything and nothing is for nothing. So you asking that and me answering it and governor speaking on it and then asking another question may have just done something for somebody else who may not even
Mhm.
be present right at this time, but may watch this back and be like, I needed to hear that, you know? And again, like I stated earlier, just remember that that intriguing feeling to want to know that again, that energy is not just in the industry. I've walked into Walmart and felt the same energy after brushing up against somebody accidentally that I felt in some of these industry events, you know?
Okay.
So just be aware and stay in protection at all times.
Yes, yes, ma'am. And also before I leave, the reptilian thing. I live in Mississippi, in a small little town here, and ever since I've been you know, following the governors, I've watched everything, and the town is mostly, well, it's a lot of, genome. So I'm always watching for things like that. I don't know if it's because maybe I need to do a little bit more work for on myself. I've never noticed anything like that. Not saying that it's not there, because I really feel that they're there. I just haven't noticed it. But yeah, I was just chiming in on the conversation. But
Mm-hmm.
gratitude to you both, and I absolutely
Gratitude.
love you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Gratitude, Leah.
Gratitude.
Hey, madam. Jeremy, you can come up. Listen, let me tell you something. Even if I might not agree with you saying, I still want to hear your opinion. I still want to see what you think.
What Jeremy say?
I don't know. Somebody told him it was a judgment
Hey,
zone, and it definitely is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, please come up. You can come up and say whatever it is you want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Greetings.
Greetings, beautiful ladies.
Greetings. How are you?
I'm well. So I got feedback, so I might be a little delayed, but I love the I love the conversation. Um, I just wanted to add a question. Oh, hold on, let me turn my mic off. 'Cause
Baby love, you can't turn your mic off. We're not gonna be able to hear you, sweets.
you can't hear me now.
No, because you turned your
You
mic
have the
off.
mic
It's
off.
double feedback.
We can't
You
hear
probably
it. So
got it laid down.
It is true.
You probably echoing.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's echoing real bad, and I don't like that. Okay, let me get off. I'll come back when I fix it.
Okay. Well, come on up, y'all. Let's just have a conversation.
Jeremy, you just have to click that link that
Just click
um,
the link
Governess just put in the chat.
because we just want to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you have a difference of opinion. What up, Nalia?
Hi, greetings.
Greetings.
So, I wanted to speak on the sea the sea and the space. So,
Mm-hmm.
I had posted on in the chat, I said, if you notice how the deeper they go, they can't breathe the same way in space you can't breathe. And then the fish that you see, the deeper you go down, they look like aliens. So, what if it's just circling back into the space? Now the stars, I'm still trying to figure out where's the similarity to the stars in the sea, but I definitely was watching this show on it's a kids show on Netflix where he was an alien bounty hunter and there was a fish like alien in space. So I was like, what if it's just we're just circling back the deeper we go?
Absolutely. That was so good. That was so good. Rakia says so as above, so below. Somebody else
Mhm.
said that.
Listen, Nalia, why I connect with that so much. The other day, Ro and I were in the car, and I had said to him, I said, babe, how we know the ocean isn't above us and space isn't below us? And he was like, well, what made you think of that? And I said, it seems that there's so many characteristics that are similar between space and the ocean. And both are not fully explored. You can't tell me that somebody gonna say that they've fully explored space. Absolutely not. They're still all of a sudden finding different planets that we could
I
actually
haven't
live
even
on.
explored the water.
Oh, and the
That part.
suits. You gotta look at the suits too. The spacesuit and the deep. Remember those big them suits in the sea? They look similar.
Mm-hmm.
And then
You
technically float in this. If you know how to swim, you technically are floating in the sea. So
mm-hmm. And now, Leah, I had brought up that made me think about Sandy. I had brought up Sandy on the phone with Quatita today from SpongeBob and how she, how she's in that firmament, that solid surrounding, but when she comes out, she has on the astronaut suit.
that's I didn't even think of that until now.
We
It,
just talked about that today.
No, that was funny.
Hmm.
but yeah, questions and answers.
Madam Meek, I think governess is pointing at you.
Oh, okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm over here hollering. Thank you for the last caller. Beautiful ladies, hello.
Greetings,
Hi,
greetings.
family. Love you guys. Mwah. I just wanted to say that you guys have confirmed so much that I thought of even being a child. I can remember back questioning in school, why is the earth still moving? If like it's so much I just can't say, but I just want to thank you both for awakening this inner thing that I have going on is so much. Miss Governess, you have read me once, so you already know I have a lot going on. But I just wanted to thank you guys and just to let you know, like, Quasita, you're beautiful. Your music is gorgeous. I love you and her's relationship. You guys are amazing. I just wanted to ask, so what we supposed to do from this point on? Because I feel like if we know that they don't trust anything the Mennonite says or does, right? And they always lie and take us out of history and everything. And we are proven to be in every part of history, correct? What can we do to get everything back the way we need to get it back, if
For
that makes sense?
excuse me, gratitude for what I see, and welcome, Jeremy. From what I see is, and I could be wrong, but what we doing right now,
Sure.
you got to
I
pull the
live you.
Asha.
True. But how can we get so I can share your message? And I have, and everyone tells me I'm crazy. I'm losing it. I don't get it. And I'm like, wait, you don't get it.
So
But
can
when you do, don't come back to me looking for me to answer why you got it now. You understand what I'm saying? It's just, I just want to know what more can we do?
So, Madam Meek, I think the one thing, and Quatita and I talk about this a lot too, I find myself a lot
Hmm.
in these times saying, what's happening to us?
Yeah,
Why are we feeding so much on the chaos? So, if I was to say anything in regards to your question, it would be protect your peace. And I'm going to keep saying it,
girl.
and I'm going to keep saying it, and I'm going to keep saying it.
One
Because
thing about it,
the one thing that gets us outside of ourselves, even more than the conditioning does, is the fact that we give up on ourselves so fast to take action against other people because they don't agree, because we feel they're not for us, all things that we shouldn't be feeding on because they're not feeding us. So stay in practices of protection of your peace and your space. You don't need
that's
to depend
good.
on them to tell you what the history is, or as you can see from this entire live, we can't depend on them to tell us what it is, what anything
That's
is,
true.
because we live feeling, especially being conditioned in the public school systems and so forth, we have been conditioned to just follow what authority says. So we have
True.
to step outside of that conditioning and realize you can be the beginning to the recording of the history that is you. So any extension of you can know from here and know how to pass those stories on in the most accurate way possible based on you being in the right state of mind. But
Got you.
yeah, give up on all that extra stuff. Stop paying attention to them people that are saying, "Oh, you crazy. The seed has already been planted, so there's no
Girl, I
further
just be
conversation."
trying to help people. I just be wanting to be like, sis, you don't even know what's really going on.
Helping people is planting the seed, not growing the tree.
Thank you.
That's their
Period.
responsibility to grow the tree. You plant the seed.
yeah.
Go ahead, Governor. Sorry.
No, no, no.
Agreed.
Just
You
about
want to
to.
know?
That's what we were saying earlier. Go ahead, Jeremy.
This what I feel like. I feel like that religion in the world is like a mind thing. Like the person is like a mind thing. When you're like a Christian, you think you're gonna get saved by somebody, so you get used to living this lifestyle that we see. You know what I mean? So we used to the things we give, the thing we get. So we like we just people we just they just like you. They like living this life like a computer. You know what I mean? It's like a
I know what you mean. I kind of, I think I understand what you're saying.
it's like we don't think people don't think for themselves no more. They let
Yes,
they let the word think for they let the word think for them. The system that we in,
absolutely.
and
That's
I feel like to change we have to stop giving in to the system. Like we have to realize that the earth we live on is the earth that God is a God given earth. So the property that people that think they own, we need to start giving into them. Like we pay bills. The money we use, it come from the trees and stuff. You know what I mean? It's just it's all a mind thing that we live in.
Jeremy, I was about to ask you, okay, well, what's the resolution? And then you end up answering it. And that's the beauty of silence. You get the answer without even having to say it. Um, and I hear in what you're saying, what we were speaking on earlier, which is create your own beliefs by having your own experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you do that, once you depend on, like how Quatita will say, when I go outside, why don't I see the stars the way that I see the sun if they're all stars? Or any of the questions that the profound questions that she asked about being in different locations, and how come you're seeing it the same with the same way I'm seeing it, and we're so far away from each other? All of those things, that's you creating your own beliefs based off of your own experiences. That's
Mm-hmm.
why she is so profound in her being and her knowing, because she depends on her experience, the deities, that which she's connected to, that which she reveres, including self, to explain to her what the circumstances are beyond what anybody else has to say, and stands firmly grounded in that knowing.
Mm-hmm. See, that's the beautiful thing about it. I feel like everybody, they will make us different. Like we all one, but our experience make us different. And we come from, black people specifically, we come from poverty. So we come from like the hood, stuff like that. The lords of the lords. And we must rise in our frequency to rise above that. I feel like the universe is testing us to be a better being in the future. You know what I mean? We going through as a species, our trials and tribulations.
Can I say something? Greetings, Charming Rain and Miss Annie.
Greetings.
Let me say this, because I hear you say that's where we come from, and I think that's why we're stuck in where we're stuck in, because we believe that's where we came from.
Absolutely.
And when we hear people speak of this one scripture where they say the first will be last and the last will be first, like we were the first, and so right now we are last. So it's not necessarily, Jeremy, where I feel like not necessarily where we came from, is where we were put in and trained to believe
You're
that's
right.
who we are. You
Our
know?
environment, our environment. We come from a negative environment,
Yes.
Right.
and
We were placed in an environment that was
Place.
made to be negative, and we've fallen for the
hmm
description of that. But we have the richest communities and have always had that. They've always depended on us to learn how to cook, to learn seasonings, to understand the flavors of life, the flavors of being, spirituality. Everything was birthed from us. So no matter what, see, we fall into the economic standards, we fall into the European societal standards, and what class do you fall in based off of your finances? But love, we have always been the richest of them all. In the
hmm
way that we gather, in the way that we celebrate, in the way that we dance. Go and look on TikTok right now. Then go all the way back to Bessie Smith days and look and see, although they had a different face on the covers of those albums, whose voices were really singing them. We have always been the richest. So when we get in these conversations, and I'm so glad Governor said what she said, because we tend to say things like that. They just had that Neiman Marcus article that said that Neiman Marcus was going to focus on the individuals that spend the most money with them, so the richest of their clientele. And all of us in the comments were saying, "Oh, so what they saying? Because black people poor? Because black people poor?" Wait a minute, hold on. Why would you just put me in that category? You don't know I might be that 10% of the Neiman Marcus shoppers that's spending all my funds with them. But we automatically assume that placement for ourselves. And even when we know better, we still speak in that way. So gratitude, governors, for pointing a light on that as well, because it irks me when I hear it, but I get why we say that, because
Absolutely.
it's said so much.
Absolutely. Greetings, Charming.
Greetings. I don't want to interrupt the conversation, the beautiful conversation, but I came on because Nalia's question about the waters um, turned on the light bulb for me. So when you guys want to talk about that, we can talk about that.
No, yeah, come on. We're just throwing it
Okay,
out here.
okay. So now, Leah, you asked about the water in or Malika, you did too. That was your question. It was you asked about the water in the basically the galaxies in the sky or whatever, and you do realize you answered your own question about the firmament, right?
No, sis, tell me, please.
Yes. Okay. So the firmament is so basically what they say in the Bible is that the firmament is a vast solid dome created by God during the Genesis creation narrative to divide the primal sea into upper and lower portions so that the dry land could appear. It's Wikipedia. They say, of course, we know it's not real, blah, blah, blah. It says the true meaning of the term firmament is the description of the vastness of space in all of the stars and constellations. So, and then it says, blah, blah, blah. Today it survives as a synonym for sky or heaven. Not only that, so here, I want to show you the picture that shows up. I'm going to pop up my camera. Can I reverse it?
What happened?
I think she kicked herself out trying to reverse the camera. Come on
Oh,
back up here, Charmy. There she goes. I think that's her. Let me see. Yeah, that's it. She was trying to reverse the camera.
I fucked around and pressed the wrong button. Okay, so so this picture basically, let's see if you guys can see that.
yes, I saw that.
Shows it shows how there's upper seas and there's waters above the firmament. And Quatita, when you were saying heavens, you're saying what are we talking about with heavens? Why is it plural? That's what they're talking about. They're talking about literally models of the firmament, the plurality of heaven. The different identifiers used for heavens in the book of Genesis, Kaleum and firmamentum. Kaleum identified as the heaven on the first day, firmamentum as heaven on the second day, so on and so forth. But it's so crazy how you guys are literally all having the same questions and we're literally just trying to figure out the same information. So this is basically like a depiction of like the firmament and like the different layers of the
I
heavens,
still
essentially.
even with that. First of all, I love your house. Okay, and
Gotta see
so
it.
excited.
Wait, did you guys? Never mind. I'll tell you guys in the chat just because. Just because.
Okay.
But I'll tell you guys in the chat.
And then also, I still feel like we're talking about beings, like
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying, living energy as well. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why, but that registers to me like that because I believe that the celestial, the cosmos, the stars, everything is a living, breathing thing. And we are energy that's just been placed into these firmaments.
You're 100% correct because next it says some of these theories identified Kalam as the higher immaterial and spiritual heaven, whereas firmamentum was of corporal existence.
Now I'm gonna look up the word corporal real quick.
Yes. Couldn't even say it. So, oh, okay. Let me. While you're doing that, I'm gonna keep reading because you was on the
Okay.
motherfucking
I
on the
want
button earlier. Oh,
Charmin,
go
hold
ahead,
on one
Monica.
second. I want to say that that word is the physical being, like the physical portion of us. So
Right.
I had
Yes, it is material, physical, secular,
Yep.
belonging to the body.
that's why they have like corporal punishment and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Literally
so
physical
what's
punishment.
so interesting about this being connected to this, Quatita, you're probably not even going to remember this. Had to be like a year or something ago. After I watched your live, I had the dream and the man in the trench coat, and he said, I have a gift for you. And he put his hand over my face, and I got up. I felt like something was like actually in my face when I got up, and I just started writing. And I didn't understand when I read it back the next rising, I didn't understand half of the terms in there. And that was one of the terms.
Corporal,
Yes. Wait,
Wow.
hold on. Wait.
because it also says it says European root meaning body, form, appearance, probably a verbal root meaning to appear.
There we go.
So that's
So
interesting. So corporation, and we always talk about how we're corporations. Our
we're
names are
literally bodies.
yes.
Yep. We're bodies. So the other thing you were talking about was like just the crystals and stuff. So next it says Christian theologians of note writing between the 5th and mid 12th century were generally in agreement that the waters, sometimes called the crystalline orb, were located above the firmament and beneath the fiery heaven that was also called the Empyrean, which is Greek. There was a medieval writer who rejected that, blah blah blah. But that it's the waters above were called the crystalline orb.
Absolutely.
The
Um,
crystalline orb?
Hmm.
That's what we learned about today was crystallines and cryptocrystallines as far as crystal
I
makeup
heard
and
you say that.
structure.
I heard you say that. I did.
I went back and found the writing, and I had texted to Quatita way back when. That's why I said she probably doesn't remember it. But this whole thing is about what you were talking about tonight, Quatita, and that is other people trying to tell us who we already are.
right.
I'm gonna send it to you again. I'm gonna text it to you again so that you can read it later. But it's so interesting that that word is in there, um, where it says back to the originated point, we understand the addiction to self harming tendencies, diet, medication, chemicals, hurt people attempting to heal through tormenting others, as what is underlying is a need to be closer to the realm you once called your away home, free of ailment and pain, but understand victory in that chase only comes in death. And if corporal existence before death is not worthy, life will repeat once more without liberation and with karmic repercussion if you have not fulfilled your purpose. Just be Ashe. That's
Wow.
the last sentence
Damn.
that's in it. I'm gonna send you the
Whoa.
rest of it. I'm gonna
Wow.
send like that. I'm gonna send you the rest of it because I'm sure you're gonna call me with because you was making that face when I had read it. Like if I turn on my camera and I made the face right now, am I right or am I right? Like that. Okay, let me
So,
turn my mic up.
here's some further things that they wrote about corporeality, which is what we're talking about, which is what Malika just told us that she basically channeled after a dream. So, early Christian writers wrote at length about the material nature of the firmament, the problem arising from the barrier said to be created when it divided the waters above and below it. At issue was the reconciliation of scripture with Aristotle's cosmology. That's not what I wanted to tell you, but I just wanted to read it so we heard it. Um, Saint Basil rejected the notion that the firmament is made of solid ice, although Bede in Hexaemerion ignores the problem of the motion of celestial bodies, in parentheses stars. So that's what is important. He ignores the motion of celestial bodies, which are stars, in a solid firmament and declares that Sidrium Caelum is the heaven of the celestial bodies, was made firm in the midst of the waters. So should be interpreted as having the firmness of crystalline stone. Does that make sense to you?
Kind of. I kind of want you to read it
It's a
again.
little wordy. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the way I take it is this one of these people declared that Sidrium Caelum was made from no, excuse me. Sidrium Caelum, which is the heaven of the celestial bodies, which is us, was made firm in the firmament or the firmamentum in the midst of waters, so should be interpreted as having the firmness of crystalline stone. So I take it as is they were made firm in a similar capacity as a crystalline stone. So they were basically made into crystals.
Okay, so this is what I was. Listen, okay, because I'm also thinking about pregnancy, giving birth.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And creating the little crystal being, the little baby
Mm-hmm.
inside of the firmament, inside of the water,
Yes.
because we're the ether.
Can I jump in real quick on that? And
Yay!
greetings, by the way, family.
Greetings, Rain. Come on.
Hi, guys. Greetings. So
Greetings,
when we
y'all.
have falling stars, would that be, and they're calling them celestial beings, would that be souls returning back to the plane?
That's a great way to look at it.
Look there.
You know, that's a great way to look at it. Absolute, like shit. Okay, shooting stars, falling stars. I had a dream, Rain, one time Then me and my daughter was walking in the middle of the street. It was snow everywhere, but we didn't have on jackets. And she squat down and she shot up into the air to the stars.
Mm.
And I was like, what? What? She came back down and she did it again. And I was floored again. Like, I just took that as like, maybe she reaches for the stars. I didn't know what the fuck, but now that you say that, like, I've
And
had
that's
a
where the
dream
term
about them
like
coming
star
down.
seeds come from and everything.
Yeah, I've had a dream about them coming down as well.
Star seeds. Quatita, but you know that dream sounds like the one that I had where I got close to the sun and thought I was going to burn, and
Mm-hmm.
then it ended up being cool, and then I shot up into the stars, and the stars took me like butterflies to the moon, and
Yeah.
it looked like there was a temple there, but it was really the beings. They were just so large. They were standing side by side, so it looked like a temple, and they had told me not with words. They told me telepathically, this is your home. Whenever you want to come here, you can visit. Like you're welcome here at any time.
Yes.
So that's interesting to think with Toddy because Toddy is such a moon child. You know, like everything about her essence. That's pretty dope. That's dope.
Greetings, Lisa Sips and Sees. Greetings. What'd you come up to say? I have muted you. There you go.
Okay, so I was just thinking about what y'all was saying about the firmament. But if you go back to what Mother Adina was talking about when she came through about them trapping them here, is that not the same thing?
That part. Yes. That
That's what it
part.
that's what it sounds like.
Wow. I'm gonna have Charmin read that one more time. Lisa, where is you at? In the back of a truck?
I'm driving. I'm a truck driver. I
I
watch you.
was
Mhm.
wondering if you were driving
Mhm.
Wow.
to the car. I couldn't tell. I was gonna call somebody like help. They got her. She's in the semi.
I wasn't sure if the red light was a signal or if it was sexy. I'm
I
not sure.
listen.
Like
We
I
was
was, I
about
was
to call for help.
Hold on.
You gonna
So
toot it? Toot, toot.
I thought she had the red light special going on.
The red light special. Oh, there she go.
oh
I
yeah,
just
she got that setup.
because when I have my music on and I be driving late at night at that 4 o'clock hour, I be getting sleepy, so I make it wakes me up.
Yeah, absolutely. I keep forgetting it's late. Shoot, I ain't even paying no attention. Well, gratitude for y'all being on here. Read it one more time, Charming.
okay. So 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 he declares that the Sidrium Caelum, or also known as the heaven of the celestial bodies, was made firm, turned into the firmament in the midst of the waters. So should be interpreted as having the firmness of crystalline stone. So I feel like she's definitely right, and I feel like what had might have happened, correct me if I'm wrong, is like at the point of where we became, or where the celestial bodies became into bodies, they were just made, they just turned into crystal. Like that would just what it would be, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even though we turn into crystal, that doesn't necessarily mean we're not trapped within our bodies, because
Yes.
we're
Yes.
still turned into a physical, that corporality that we're talking about.
That's so deep. Greetings, Ebony. Rain, we had lost you for a second. You came back up. Ebony.
Hi, everyone. Greetings. I'm trying to figure out how to work
Greetings.
all the settings. But I was coming on because I was hearing you and Malika discuss the crystals earlier, and it made me think about water and how we know how powerful it is, and it charges and gives us power. And the crystals being underground, and how they put up, like the Hoover Dam and all these levees and everything. Like, it makes me think like that was very intentional. So water cannot
Mm-hmm.
flow to certain parts of the earth, and it would, charge it up and give it power.
Mm.
So
But
that's
that's
what I wanted to
almost
come up
what
and say.
like shocked me when I was thinking about it because our physical bodies, like when Spirit was telling me the other day, you would have said, Quatita, why you keep eating that? All you really need is the vegetation, fruits and water.
Mhm.
And so as we saying it, that's why I'm like, this water, of course, the ground and the then the vegetation, like so the crystals are, you know what I mean. So that's what
Yeah.
exactly what was in my mind, Ebony.
Yeah, like they won't let just the natural waters flow. They only allow, with the machines they use, the certain waters they have to drop down onto the ground. Like it's still all controlled and for a specific reason.
Absolutely understood. Understood. Greetings, Yaya. Greetings, Rain back. Come, you came back with us.
Hi, the governess. How are you? How are
Good.
you, ladies?
Greetings, Grant.
Greetings.
I'm a new subscriber. I've been following you over like the past, I say maybe 5 days, and I've been obsessed.
Okay.
Oh, greetings.
Well, welcome. That's really new.
Yeah, the energy here, it's very magnetizing. I can say that, and it's so much insight. It's like every time I come on here, I'm learning something,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah. And everything you're talking about the water. I'm so sorry if I cut anybody off. Did I cut anybody off?
No, you're fine.
Okay. The I watched the Avatar movie, and it was all about the water. Everything was about the water. So it's like as you guys are depicting what you're saying now, I'm seeing those clips happening in the movie with the wings. There was at one point one of the girls, she started alchemizing the water and she was able to use the wings to carry her through. And it
Mm,
was just so mystical.
I love that. I watched it, but I could not get through it because I was just so upset. When I was looking at it, I kept seeing other stuff, so I couldn't even allow myself to register in it. What I'm
Hmm.
looking for on my phone, because I see your picture, but it is almost very resemblance. Okay, to my tarot card for Squipperlish, so I was getting ready to show it.
Oh my gosh. That is crazy. Yeah, you were talking about the ancestors and the deities today, and I really felt that because it's like, I throughout my life I can see how the ancestors was pulling me out of religion and pulling me out of a lot of the thing traps that they have set for us, because that's what it is. It's mental entrapment, and it's keeping us away from our nature. You know what I'm saying? Everything that is us, they call it evil. Everything that is traditional in our cultures, they call it, demonic, and it's not true, you
Can we
know?
just go ahead and get into that a little bit? Because everything that's us, they say that is demonic and it's devil's work, and everything that is us, that is death, they say that it's us. It's,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? Like we have nothing positive to offer the world. You know what I mean? Like we're just all full of nothing but negativity, and everything that belongs to us is just death when really it belongs to them. But I'm so glad you said that, because it almost seems like people don't see that. It drives
Mhm.
me crazy.
Yeah, like for me and my experience, because I came from a very Christian background, it to me, the way that I saw that God was not in that place. Every time I went to church, I'm like, there's no way that God is here. There is no way that the Most High is in these places, because it's teaching us how to be other people. We're playing other people's roles. Nobody is being themselves, and
Mhm.
being able to tap into the gifts and the insight that, our ancestors want to give us. You know what I'm saying? And it's so sad. It's so sad because there's so many of us that are lost. There's so many family members that I've had to give up on, you know what I'm saying, because they just refuse to allow themselves to be free to think differently. And it breaks my heart, you
I
know.
love that you said that like that when you say people are playing different roles, different characters, because here we always talk about script writing and you're in your own movie. Like people are non-existent in your life, in your movie, unless you write them in. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? And so when you even say that, it makes me think of that, but it also makes me think of exactly what you're saying, how, excuse me, our people have so many gifts because we're naturally this, we're naturally the deity, we're naturally,
Mm-hmm.
this being, a crystal being with power. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and when they're telling you that that action is a devilized and demonic action, you're now playing a role of something that you aren't, just because you're afraid to be who you are naturally. So now you're
Mm-hmm.
stepping inside of this character, which is formulated by the oppression of the Christian mentality. You don't even know who the fuck you're playing.
No, you don't even know what side you're on.
You don't.
You don't even know. Like I went through this thing with Christianity where I almost committed suicide because I could not connect to myself. I didn't even know how to feel because everybody is telling me to think a different way. And it's like, I believe that the Most High wants us to be honest, to be authentic, to be true. How can we say that we're givers of life if we're living a lie? You know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
I don't want to stay in too long. I just wanted to just
No, yeah, yeah. I'm so glad you came up and said that. I really, really am. Gratitude for coming.
gratitude. I love y'all ladies. Blessings. And
Blessing.
I'm going to drop down and be in the comments. Thank you.
First of
Love
all,
you
I
too.
gotta do it
Peace.
correctly. Let me give a shout out to Z Energy because he shouts me out on YouTube a lot. I thought it was some mess one time. I went to it like, oh shit, he likes me. Okay, cool. He likes the shit we talking about. So you be talking about a lot of the same things, and I see that they are like giving you a lot of praise for the shit you bring to the table. So welcome.
Yes, ma'am. How
How
you
are
doing? Yes, ma'am. I'm doing fine. I'm just flattered because I'm in your presence.
Oh, well, shit. Gratitude. Likewise. Likewise.
Yeah.
Let's get into it, Z Energy.
Yeah. Basically I like to dedicate my show to like the awakening and try to get many people to understand different parts of them. You know what I mean? Far as like where your energy come from, where does your ancestors come from, and the breakdown. And my a friend of mine named Zero, he had like 18 years as a spiritualist. We studied like the Goetians, we studied different aspects of far as like possession and a lot of stuff.
I
We try
love
to
that.
cover a lot of stuff and make sure we dot our T's and make sure people understand what they're getting into.
Let's go into Goetia because I feel like Malika's eyes was bucked like my eyes were bucked.
You already
Um
know.
yeah. Basically the Goetia is the 72. The the emotional part of the science part of your energy. So to harness this energy, you got to understand yourself and understand yourself as in breakdown on how to go about understanding your powers and your gifts.
Mm-hmm. 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 I love that. Come on, Malika.
Look, I'm over here already typing it into the computer. Can you give me the spelling of that Z energy?
Nah, what part?
No, the term Goetia, right?
Oh,
That's what you said.
Goetia. Oh, Goetia is a set of spirits that's actually the firstborn. The firstborn, as into it's a certain part of energies that was created.
Is
Mm,
that the spirits of Amazonia? Is that what that is?
No, the Goetia is different.
I'm
It's more
trying to
like
look it up. I'm trying to look it up. So I'm
Goetia is spelled Goe like
TIA.
TIA. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So
That's
when
dealing
you
with the
look it up,
Lilith. That's dealing with the Lilith energy. That's dealing with a lot of chaos
Okay.
energy.
Oh,
so so is it
evocation.
like dealing with inner demons, like levels
Um,
that are like kind of inner demons? Because that's what's coming up here is about a
yeah,
lot of demons, and
yeah,
I'm, you know what I mean,
yeah.
like
But like, they
kind
don't
of
like
like
to be
that,
they don't like to be
like
called demons though.
Like
They don't
dark
like.
magic, something
no,
like
I
that.
understand
Yeah,
that.
Magic, black
No,
magic.
we yeah,
yeah.
So what
like
you
the
saying
Gede.
is, yes, okay, like Baphomet. Like they don't want to be called
They don't
demons.
want to be called that.
Come through, Z. So basically, the term right here, Malika says, the Latin term Goetia refers to the evocation of demons or evil spirits. It is derived from the ancient Greek word, um, yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that, but Goetia,
Yeah,
meaning
go.
charm, witchcraft, or jugglery. I've never
Hmm.
heard the word jugglery.
Yeah,
Okay.
a lot of
Oh, I
people don't
can't
know
see
the
it.
angelics work with the demons. Well, they don't like to be called demons, but the angelics do work hand in hand with both.
Like a genie, like
Like a jinn?
yeah, a
No,
genie.
you said the genie.
He said a genie.
Oh, like a
Yeah.
genie. Oh no, no. You talking about the Goetians, right?
Yeah.
No, the Goetians is just a whole set of principal spirits that was governed to help you to
Hmm.
understand your spiritual ascension.
You said they were the first. They were the first energies.
The
It's
first
funny how the first energies they always demonize. Like Satan, so called, was the first angel.
they non gender spirits too.
So
Um,
it's like
What's
a extension of our higher self.
Mm.
What's baffling me is the fact that Aleister Crowley used the term for his book title.
Hmm.
That's the part that, and this is where I say that they tap into our magic.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then, so this is where I'm about to put myself on mute because I'm about to go and dig and figure out Aleister Crowley's connection to this because I never thought about the fact, even within music, with so many people in the arts that study under Aleister Crowley when it comes to what we know of as the wickedness within the industry, I never thought of where he got his research from. I
I
was
think.
always caught up on the individuals who worked with
Mm,
him and the things that happened to their families after working with him. But I never thought about where that came from. And now finding out that this term, Goetia, this overstanding, he's utilized that word to create a book called The Book of Goetia, of the Goetia of Solomon the King. I need to know more.
I think.
Gratitude, Z
It's
I
a
think.
Energy.
it's an
Probably
old book out there that's called Psychomancy, and it breaks down a lot of the alpha, the gamma, and the delta, and it explains how to use different psychic energies that you possess. It's a real ancient book. It came out like 1966. I had to pick it up on Amazon. It cost like $36. But that book explains a lot in the depth. It's called Psychomancy.
Is it the psychomancy, spirit wrappings, and table tippings exposed?
Mm, no,
This must
Psychomancy.
just be. This might be another branch. Them talking about the work of psychomancy, and I'm assuming that
Psychic
spirit
energy.
wrappings and table tipping is part of that practice,
Yeah.
which is interesting to me because I've dealt with both. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because you remember Quatita, I told you about the table tipping at
Yeah.
the place, and then we also had a table tipping at the house as well, and that was a very interesting reading. I've never seen anything like with the way that that table did what it did, and the spirit wrappings as well. You just okay, Z Energy. Just keep on talking because I'm gonna just go on ahead and write a list.
Yeah, it's a book I had purchased on the Amazon. It's real. It's a real book that breaks down like the delta, alpha waves, the beta waves. That these beta waves basically what they does they tap into different parts of your subconscious, and it breaks down certain things to allow you to use certain parts of your abilities. And this book is very deep. I have when I'm probably much probably like 4 or 5 chapters, probably like 20 pages in.
What I hear you saying is the frequency, because I refer to Yehuda, the spirit, as the frequency. And so that's how you gain a lot of your knowledge in building who you are, is through your frequency range.
Yeah, I've been tapping into that. Sometimes I just cut it on and just go to sleep with it on, like just turning on alpha waves, and I just listen to it. I don't know why, just something just draw me to it to make me just, hey, just turn it on.
Oh, I thought Malika was gonna say something.
I'm typing.
Okay.
Wait, I
This,
got something before.
go ahead, Nalia.
Okay, so it was about the firmament because that's been on my mind too. So they made the firmament to trap us, but in reality, quote unquote, they trapped themselves because can't we leave the firmament? Like, yeah, that's what's on my mind because I'm like,
Hmm.
they can't leave the firmament, but we can. So technically, we aren't trapped. Okay, that's basically what you said. We aren't trapped here. We just think we're trapped here because
Yeah.
of what we were told. Okay, I just
Yeah.
answered my question.
Mm-hmm.
They dumb, basically.
Z Energy, do you have the author of that book? Because what I'm realizing is that
Yeah, let me grab the book real quick.
psychomancy itself defined is divination by communicating with spirits, especially of the dead. And then they have necromancy is divination involving the dead or death. So there's so many books that pop up when I type in psychomancy as far as crystal gazing, all the different ways to practice psychomancy.
Hmm.
I need to know more.
Absolutely, because he didn't say some shit I had not heard of before. But it makes
Yeah,
Mhm.
sense.
yeah, it's by Frank Rudolph Young.
Okay,
Uh,
gratitude.
yeah.
Where you from?
I'm from Florida, but I'm originally from
Pittsburgh.
Pennsylvania.
Man,
That's
you
where I
sound
was born at.
like Mississippi like a motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm down in Florida though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he done said some shit that I have not heard of, but I want to know more about the Croatia, 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 right?
Yeah, the 72.
Okay, the 72. What is that?
The 72 spirits that govern different energies, such as yourself. Because they keep talking about the center of yourself have the 72 emotions that break down the 72 goations. Then you ever heard that old saying like the 72 angels, angelic angels? Then you got the 72 God's name. They all pretty much the same.
Okay, so I have a question. I'm trying to figure out. I'm asking you what I'm looking up here, so you can tell me where you got your information from. Because is it like Baal, Garrus, Visago? Is it those names, or is it
Basago,
different names?
no, they
Because this,
different
so
names.
basically, when you look up 72 Goetia, they give you a whole list of 72 names. So that's why I'm asking you,
Yeah.
because you obviously have different. Then we don't trust the internet completely. So
Yeah, I understand. But sometimes you have. I sometimes what I was looking from because I got a mentor. My mentor is Zero, and he's real tapped in with like the Lilith energy and stuff like that. And so he kind of like helped me back and forth with a lot of things and a lot of books and stuff because he do a lot of spiritual work himself. He, like I was saying, he got 18 years in. He's just like the governance where he could actually, have the spirit talk to the spirit and stuff like that. And he was just telling me stuff. He said he was basically saying the Goetia, he was doing it so much that he see them as humans now. And like Lilith, like actually talk to him like every day. And he was like saying like Lilith, Lilith came over there and seen you. I'm like, what?
So first of all, I'm looking on at this listing on Etsy, which is $1,885 for this sheet of paper that lists the 72, and they refer to them here as the Demon of Solomon, which also connects back to Aleister Crowley's book, which would be the Goetia, and then because he has Demons of Solomon in the title of that as well. But I see what you're saying, Charming. They have the pictures of each, and they have their names, and each of them has a different sigil. Now, the item details on this says this elaborate and time consuming ritual with not only the 72 demons, but also the seven most talented and powerful princes of hell will enable you to be successful in all dynamics of your life, from relationships to the success of and protection of yourself and your family to wealth,
Mhm.
health, and strength. This pact
Okay.
will amend and improve all areas.
Wait,
Correct.
Right,
wait,
Yep.
wait.
right.
Because this is what I always say. Two things. I want to know how many of those demons and demigods also refer to the water spirits as well, because when we found out, I have already talked about Levianite, but then we found out about Leviathan. They say that's a demon energy of the seas. So anything that's good, that, because I don't know no demons. I've never been taught that demons want to see you do well and protection and all of this. Like they got to make that make sense of what you just read. Like that shit don't make sense to me. So somebody got to make that make sense, because I don't know no demons that want to see you do well and progress.
I never heard of that neither.
Yes, but see, it depends. I don't know them, but if this is something that Aleister Crowley is studying, this is also Marina Abramovic. This is all of them. So whatever they're utilizing to gain their success, this is the red shoes. This is what they
That's
would be
our shit that
utilizing.
they have turned into negative shit. And that's what
Absolutely.
Malcolm was saying. Like,
Hmm.
how are they using us for the negative, Quatita? We don't want to be used that way anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Come
So
And
on,
are
it,
those the different levels of the deities? Like you know how they show up in like Papa is Legba. So are those just the same things as the different levels of our high council and our deities?
I believe so. Honestly,
That's what I'm thinking. That's what it's giving me.
yeah. Look, they tell me, what's the link, please? Yeah, I agree, Lisa, because that's what it sounds like. It sounds like these energies, and we know that they're counterparts. And then when you have counterparts inside of self, and there's still so many that we don't know, we have not come across. You know, Technotron and Tankinus, those are new to me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm understanding like how they come in and what they're over creation, biology, gene splicing. You know what I mean? But these are some of the same things that we found out was supposed to be evil workings. You know what I mean? But
I,
I was trying to think about why people so scared to like actually even tap in, but I had to think about it because all the movies showing people like, oh, they something to fear or something they're scared of. And the thing about these movies, they programming your subconscious to fear those energies.
absolutely. Because if you fear them, then you're not active in them. If you're not active in them, then you can't never progress and grow. So you're gonna be stuck in this Jesus mentality over here.
Yeah. They say
But
about 20 different characters play Jesus.
if they fear us, they're gonna write everything about us to make us be fearful of ourselves because they're scared of us. Like that's why the police are so scared of us when we're unarmed. They understand that we are the Incredible Hulk, and they don't know that we're gonna. They're scared that we're gonna accidentally tap into their power because we're so scared. You know what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely.
that's how it makes sense in my mind, but my mind works different. So
Absolutely. It's like 20, I in my research, it's like 25 different avatars of the Jesus character. And I've
yep.
gone through some of them. You know, Zoroaster, however you pronounce that shit, Gecko, Mithras. But again, we're looking at Dionysus, which we know as Dionite. So, because we also know that the deities, well, at least I know, that the deities are also the grandmother
Mm.
herself divided into herself and folded over, because she is everything. You know what I'm saying? It's fragments. We're fragmented of these, this energy, this spirit being, this energy, the soul family. That's how I see it.
It's so much information out there. They telling you, um, they telling everything, rating like introducing the information to you. They make it look like it's cartoonish, or they'll make it look like it's something that's something like mythical or something like that. And but they really actually telling you the truth though.
Like Star Wars.
Yeah, all that stuff is real. All those
Yeah.
different entities on there, they all real.
Like I feel like the Force is like the the one energy. You know what I mean?
Quat Eater,
Yeah,
I'm about to drop down, but and go ahead and get some rest. But Crucial was asking if I could reread that part of the what I was reading earlier. Is it okay if I read that before I go?
absolutely. Absolutely. It is late. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going to let everybody go too.
No, it's okay. So, and it ties into what you were actually just speaking about as far as knowing who you are. So I'm just going to read the whole thing for you, Crucial, so that you can kind of gain the fullness of it and rewind it and listen to it. So what I wrote was, at the end of the day, you can't be told how to be something you already are. You can be guided, but you can't be told. Those instructions were implanted pre-flesh integration by the highest beings and have never been diluted with human flaw. They are innate and set on a time release directly correlated with what was already written specifically for each physical journey. You should comprehend the phrase time release clearly, as you all love to indulge on time release poisons you called medicine as a means of healing. You should be aware we don't depreciate or denigrate you for this, as we understand you aren't aware that what you are actually seeking is the euphoria of your best and highest self, the high of the all knowing and ailment free existence. Separate yourself from physical when you read the word ailment. Open your mind to read it from a spiritual standpoint. Connect with your astral consciousness. Tap into who you were before you were here, as you cannot yet tap into who you will be once you leave. This is also the key to a fulfilling human existence. When we say ailment, we speak of the human ability to see good in an action of a friend and consider the same act horrid in a stranger, to see good in an action of self and consider the same act horrid in a friend, the ability to hurt without regret, to avoid recourse based solely on pigment, relation, and coin class, the same coins that are counterfeit in all realms where peace reigns, rather than a viscous corporeal leader who has not yet made it through even one cycle of soul transmigration samsara. Back to the originated point, and this is the repetition from before, crucial. We understand the addiction to self harming tendencies, diet, medication, chemicals, hurt people attempting to heal through tormenting others, as what is underlying is a need to be closer to the realm you once called your away home, free of ailment and pain. But understand victory in that chase only comes in death. And if corporal existence before death is not worthy, life will repeat once more without liberation and with karmic repercussion if you have not yet fulfilled your purpose. Just be Ashe.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's good.
on that note, I love you, Quatiter. I love you, Pam. I love you, cousins. And I will call you in the rising, my love.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
peace.
Peace, peace.
Peace to the goddess.
Um, listen. I need to know more about this though.
I got one question. You remember how the you know the how they was displaying the jabber about a couple years ago?
I
Okay,
think I think I know.
so when I was reading this book like a couple days ago, right? They got it's a word they call it hysteria, right? But it say it strictly is a mental condition. Yet the hysterical can develop any symptoms, such as any disease. So whatever you believe, your cells on your body going to strict it that way to make you sick. So you believe you're healthy, you're gonna be healthy. You believe you're sick, you're gonna get sick.
See, that's hold on, fuck that.
You
Basically, you
just said
manifestate.
that
You
when you was
manifest.
talking about the pregnancy. You can basically think
Yeah,
yourself the
it tells
pregnancy.
everything in this book. This book is old. It's like yeah, 19 published in 1966. Right here.
Just said that, man.
Said all the time, what you think about, you bring about.
We should do a
That's
book club
right.
on them books.
Lady,
Yeah.
you gotta get
That's why I'll be telling everybody, say, don't tell yourself you sick. Don't do that. I say you really just telling yourself and you're going to get sick. You
Yeah.
believe that, it's gonna come out that way. Because you programming your cells to do that. Because your body is a technology itself.
Yes.
yes,
Yes. Oh my goodness. Gratitude.
oh, DNA.
Listen, there is something this genome, her name is Christy Marie Sheldon. And that's something she always used to say. And I used to watch her videos a lot because she was very informative, right? And she would say, when people be like, you make me sick. You
Mm-hmm.
made me sick. Oh, that's so sick. Like you're calling that into
Mm-hmm.
yourself, onto your body. You know what I mean? Like, and I have to tell my daughter, I don't like when they say it like, bitch, I'm dead. Like, no, don't say that. You know what I mean? Like, no, like, bitch, you so crazy. No, because you're calling certain things, certain energies. I
Mm-hmm.
have to watch what I say, and I hate when they do it, and I be trying to get to them to understand you are what you speak.
Yeah. I think I started tapping in like I think it was last year. I used to get a lot of sun, and I used to listen to like a lot of information online. But I want to get my own information too, because I try to understand everybody purpose, because everybody got a different way of hitting the right energy. But you got to understand, you got to do your own and just take that and kind of like build off of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Charmin, what you got up there? Because I feel like you keep looking at something.
Well, I actually just downloaded that book he was talking about.
Oh,
Yeah. It's a big book. That book is the truth.
Yeah, so
What's the name of the
it's
book?
like $1,000 on Amazon, and
It
you
is
can download it on the
$1,000
PDF
for
for
the
six
original. Yeah.
dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Just download the PDF for like $5. Just do that.
Yeah. I had paid
Yeah,
36 for it. I seen it. I said
I was
it's
like,
like
he must have got
like
it for the plug,
in a coat,
because
like in a coat. It's like a coat. Like where everybody go at with their information, and different people like actually doing spiritual work. Like it got hoodoo practitioners. We got people that study the Goetia, people that study different styles, and they all in this circle, and we just come with different information. And
that's dope.
they just tell me certain stuff, how to handle certain stuff, how to handle different energies, how to banish things, and
That's dope.
come through.
yeah.
Yes. What's the name of the book again?
Cyclomancy.
Cyclomancy,
Yeah,
Jeremy.
it's the secrets of the psychic power control.
I probably could benefit like a motherfucker.
Appreciate that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, it's by Frank Rudolph Young.
We should do a class and study this book.
That's
Mm,
why I said like a book club. I'll definitely, because I that's a long book, but I definitely.
yes.
I definitely don't mind.
Yes, that would be dope. Man,
I
we
on this
People need,
can
yeah.
you make a coloring book of the deities for the kids?
say it again, Lisa.
Can you make a coloring book of the deities for the kids?
Well, we working
Mm,
on.
That's a
Yeah,
good
we're
idea.
working on that. Absolutely. Um,
Okay.
we have a children's book coming out as well as a coloring book and hopefully dolls.
I got boys though.
Huh?
I gotta get them no dolls.
Yeah, absolutely. You get them the dolls. Boys don't know anything about being gay until you tell them that.
Yep.
Yeah, no. It's their action figures. We put a
Okay.
stigma on the word dolls. Yeah, no, these are figures of the deities. These are learning tools. They
Okay.
don't know anything about gay until you tell them that.
Well, I don't know. My 9-year-old be calling his 14-year-old brother sus all the time, and I be like, "Who taught you that?" But they do it at school, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
like, I be trying to tell them the difference. You know what I mean? But it's like it's me against the world, literally.
absolutely. Excuse me. Listen, this has been such an interesting conversation. Z Energy, I invite you to come back
Yes,
um,
ma'am.
and have a conversation, maybe on Let's Have the Conversation. Um, like, yeah, like I really would like to have more dialogue with you and what um,
Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful.
regardless of what people think about people over here can't have their own difference of opinion. That is not the truth. You know what I mean? Because you never know where you learn something at. You know what I mean? I usually say don't teach in my chat because I don't know where everybody be getting their information from, and they'll be teaching you some shit, and I don't mind them people teaching, but listen, I don't. I'm all about not leading our people in the wrong direction. But this, what you brought to the table, is very enlightening, and I feel like I want to learn more about it because I know that our magic have been stolen and turned around. When you first came up here, you said the 72. You said Goetia. You said something else.
I was saying the 72 names of God, the 72 Goetias, and the 72 angelic on royal throne. I have sigil books about the angelics, and I have sigil books about different different demonology books about certain beings, but you
Well,
in
let me
they
ask you this,
all
since
they
you
all the
do have
same.
it, I
They
have
all
a
the same.
question because I've always had this question because I feel like when people hear the word angel, they automatically assume that principalities are good things. And
Oh,
I feel exactly.
they can well, they can be like they can be assholes too. Forgive me for saying it, but they more like we gonna do this. You gonna do this today, like that. You know what I mean? Cause I had, me and Zero was talking about it because he said some of the angels don't get along with him because uh certain ways or something like that because they so demanding. Like, you know what I mean? I have love for all of you. You know what I mean? It's it's just demanding.
Absolutely. It's so weird. When I first started my walk, I used to say angels this and angels that, and then like, oh, the gods or whatever. But spirit was like, just call them ancestors. And so
Yes.
that's why I call them that. You know what I mean? And that's why when I do my readings, I say you may call them guardians, angels, guides. I reference them as our loved ones because our loved ones are the ancestors, even though they're known or unknown. Like they are what we are. I don't know.
You
That's
want
just
to know something? Like angle, like when you say angel, you saying like an angle of light. So when you say an angel, you really saying like you can call yourself an angel. You know what I mean? Cause you are light. You come from light, so you're angle. You know what I mean?
yeah. I don't have a problem with the word angel because I
Yeah.
know that it comes from Anglo and Anglo, which is Papa Candelo for me, and that's he says that's his real name, and that he was one of the first. Um,
Hmm.
so
Yeah, I'm more like I'm so ready to like tap into some of this energy and try to understand myself because I know I have a lot of attachment to it. So I'm gonna do the shadow work. I'm gonna keep going hard and I'm keep learning everything about myself because it's only me. It's gonna take me to wake myself up. Nobody
I
else can
would
do it
like to
but
have a
me.
You right.
conversation with Zero.
Yes,
They
ma'am.
said that's his name, right? Zero.
His name's Zero. Yeah,
Yeah,
he a demonologist. Yeah,
I would love to have
yeah,
that conversation
yeah.
um, on the platform. Just because I'm just intrigued. I want to hear about it. I want to know what he
We
says because you know
Yeah. We finna get ready to drop this video called Possession, and he's finna go into it about the possession, and what to expect and how it benefits. And also it's more like this possession is more like so it's more like a energy, like a cell phone. A lot of people don't understand it because they too busy. Oh, I'm scared of it. Oh, it's gonna possess me, it's gonna kill me. You know what I mean? But bottom line, these beings gotta contact you a certain way. So your vessel gotta pretty much kind of get tuned in. So you have to tune into the certain frequency.
and that's all I be saying. Because what I do, what I call aesthetics, is just that, but we call it a clean possession. It's
Yes, ma'am.
not something that's dirty or demonic. It's a clean kind of thing. And I'm so glad you said like you need to tune yourself because that's what I'm talking about. I feel like there's levels and steps to it, and people see that I do it and they just want to jump. Oh my God, it took over me. I'm becoming Papa Candelo. Like, knock it the fuck off. Like, do the work. You know what I mean? Like, actually step into what this is without, wanting to be seen for the glorification of it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And the number one thing is protect yourself. Make sure if you doing any kind of spiritual work, make sure you understand the protection, how to protect yourself as well, because it have a lot of mental effect on your body. It's not easy for everybody, but you have to learn how to protect yourself.
Can you
That's
tell
number
us some
one.
ways?
You,
Because you fuck around
protection.
and you doing that shit and you fuck around and be possessed by, like,
Protection is
Oh
more like you
God.
can call upon your ancestors' energy for like guidance and protection, or you can go into like different attributes, as in like it's different ways that you can do rituals and convert energy into like kind of like protecting your aura, your energy fields,
Make
because
sure you
it's a lot. It's a lot.
make like basically like make sure you're in a good vibration, right
Yeah, you
state of
don't want to go
mind,
in and
something like
like you
that.
if you have like any like relationship problems or whatever, don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you doing it all mean, like kind of like something that affected you at work or whatever. You don't want to do it because you're attracting parasites to you.
Mm-hmm. I feel
And
what you're saying.
it's almost like a bat signal because everybody in more like in the the different realms, they can see that. And
It's your
it's
frequency.
like, yeah, your
Yeah.
frequency like a bat
Mm-hmm.
signal. Everybody
Bat
sees it.
signals, y'all.
I
Yeah.
feel you.
I was gonna say that bat signals.
I teach on bat signals, so it's funny that you say that. I've coined that phrase.
Yeah, I love it.
Absolutely. I love it.
Um,
I see Malika ass is in the chat. She's about and found some more information.
I'm going to subscribe to your YouTube channel, G Energy.
uh,
Yeah.
Gratitude.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say for y'all to do
I'm,
that.
I'm the big. I'm the biggest fan of the governors. You just don't know.
See, I've been following governance
I see this
since
lady on. I see her on TV. I be like, oh my god, she's so beautiful.
I've been I've been
Gratitude.
I've been watching your videos since I was 18, 17. I was watching Young Pharaoh videos, then I had started watching your videos after Young Pharaoh, and you just awakened me ever since then. Like we saying like your zodiac stuff, you were like the Gemini is gonna move and stuff, and I see myself moving. I'm like, damn.
Gratitude, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You helped
got to
me
set
out.
up
You helped
tomorrow
me
and
out a
do
lot
the
though.
horoscope. So horoscopes will be tomorrow. It's supposed to be today, but it'll be tomorrow, y'all.
Yeah.
I just want to know you helped me out. You kind of helped me a lot, like with the knowledge. You help, like a depressed person, and the knowledge you were bringing, you making more enlightened about their life. You know what I mean? So you,
Gratitude.
you did help me a lot, and I appreciate being on this thing with you, stuff like that.
Appreciate that, Jeremy.
Hmm.
It's been real, y'all. I appreciate y'all for being on here at this time
Thank
in the
you.
morning. Um,
Thank you so much.
but we'll
I'm
come
about to
back
go
and do
to.
this again. We'll definitely come back and do it again. I show gratitude, everybody.
Gratitude, Governor.
Love.
Love you,
Gratitude.
family.
Love you.
Love you to life.
Give
Love
my
y'all.
give
Love
my
your
love to
cousins.
Yehuda, please.
Absolutely,
Give
for
my love to
sure.
Yehuda.
See
You
y'all
know,
tomorrow at
See you tomorrow.
6:15.